Oh wait, you leveled like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
You should be at level 3 currently.
Yeah.
Okay, I think
Yeah.
I did that already. I just didn't change the level on the sheet.
Oh,
Yeah, I did that already.
yeah, your experience is different. You only missed like what, 2 sessions? So some experience was
No.
gained. Helps if I post the thing in the right place. Boop. And well, side story, I actually completed a complete game of Star Trek Infinite as the Cardassians.
But I never even heard of Star Trek Infinite.
It's a Stellaris video game, but it's Star Trek themed. You play what you play. It's in the TNG era, playing as either the Cardassians, Federation, Romulans, or the Klingons.
Hmm.
There. Oh, righty them. Welcome to the Electric Metropolis video game tour. I'm AD Springer, also known as Corbinian, and we are playing another episode of The Great Continental War of the Setting Sun, a Fantasy Age 2nd Edition RPG. So, let us get to our... Let's open the Encyclopedia Continentalis once more. On a mist-shrouded autumn day in 18XX, Seabreeze Cove played host to the 7th Corps of the Grand Armée de Gallia's 2nd Division de Dragoons, while the formidable fortress city of Aquahaven remained firmly under the control of the 1st Division de Cuirassiers. The punitive war waged by Gallia against Vitlu had swiftly carved a path of conquest, claiming a third of the Queendom's territory within the span of a week. Once pristine landscape now bore the scars of relentless punishment, with the earth trampled by hooves and ravaged by the thundering roar of cannons. Seabreeze Cove, however, stood as a peculiar example of subdued occupation, marked by a lack of significant bloodshed or breached walls. This feat was attributed to the clandestine tactic and political acumen of the 1st Squadron de la Salle, particularly their cloak and dagger maneuvers. Yet, north of Seabreeze Cove, the Battle of the Storm Coast erupted into a chaotic maelstrom, where Galleons and Ten Islanders clashed amidst the thundering echoes of gunfire and blasts of gunpowder. Captain Cormac McNeil, Lieutenant Diego Borgia, and Brevet Sous-Lieutenant Luciano Bianchi now found themselves entangled once more in the intricate web of the 7th Corps, navigating the treacherous waters of political maneuvering and career advancement. Meanwhile, Lieutenant Isabel Dumas, exhausted and nursing injuries from the recent Battle of the Storm Coast, rested, temporarily spared from the tumult of the ongoing conflict. So, we cut to Seabreeze Cove, and if a few people overwhelm the small city, the some 10,000 people, I believe it is, for half of the 7th Corps. There's camps all around. There's soldiers marching up and down. The city guard is dwarfed in comparison to the presence of the Gallian Grand Army.
Time for
It's-
the captain of the guards to get her just desserts. In
yeah,
an
she
alley.
makes efforts to try to oppose, but there's no true way to resist this many people.
Right.
You guys have been moved out of the nicer houses in Summer Ward, as that has been taken up by the various rout out the rebel scum. We must enlighten them with our mighty cannons. Hey, author, Vitlu aren't rebels. They're just defiant of the continental system as suggested by the ever-wise Emperor of Gallia.
They're just economically backward.
Yeah, totally.
By the way, your changes to the 7th Corps handout didn't take. Bianchi's still on there as a sergeant, and it doesn't have his new unit.
I haven't taken the new picture.
Oh, okay.
It is on the splash page.
Oh, it's on this page. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I'll have to do that between. I'm gonna put a marker for myself right now.
No worries. I thought you had done it on that. I was confuzzled, as is usually the case.
Handout. So does anyone go to visit Dumas or Rousseau as they're resting in the Summer Ward?
Sure, Diego will go and visit Isabel.
I presume I'd be too busy with regimental paperwork to actually get anything done.
No, I'm just gonna hound the quartermasters for some goddamn money.
Okay. So, Isabel, give me an intelligence roll to see how much of the battle you really were able to absorb. What details you remember, because it went from sailing to chaos all at once. So a lot of the particulars are fuzzy.
Military lore?
Sure. Uh, 11. You remember some of the battle. You remember heading out to sea to stop the Green Wind from attacking the message ship. You remember the storm knocking you into the storm coast. Horses sliding around, lots of gunfire. You got injured somewhere along the way, but the fighting was thick. You couldn't really... It was hard to get in good order, but between you and the Dame Rousseau, you were able to kind of form ranks while the sailors from the Gallian sailors, the Vinlander buccaneers that you hired, battled with the Tin Islander sailors. And in the mix of all that, Dame Rousseau had sent off Bianchi with some papers to warn them that the Tin Islanders were aware that a Vitluian corps was coming to Seabreeze Cove. And then at some point there was an explosion that knocked you clear of your horse and knocked you unconscious. And by the time everything came to, you found yourself in Seabreeze Cove, and it's sort of with various corpsmen milling around and a doctor, and Dame Rousseau kind of resting in another bed. You're told that she's in another room, and that's when Borgia steps in to find you.
Can I make one edit?
Sure.
There would be no horses because we planned on doing an entire naval action, and horses take like
that's true.
more than a day, like a week, to get used to being on land after they've been at sea.
What, you mean you don't do cavalry charges from ship to ship?
No.
So yeah. Very good. So in that event, the horses, I will tell you that one thing you'd be made aware of is that the horses had been taken care of because Seabreeze Cove was never really in battle. So they were never really hurt or worn down. Beyond just being bored and in a stable, but, 7th Corps knows how to handle horses. They're a horse regiment after all.
So am I currently injured?
Surprise, you're a little dazed. But unlike a lot of the soldiers that were there, you're not all that hurt. You're just they more put you in bed and you kind of, between the days that you've been asleep for about a day so far. Well, 2 days or so. But now you're just kind of groggy because you've basically been in bed for 2 days.
All right, and yeah, I'll say it's nice that you've had a chance to drop by.
Well, sounds like your little boat trip turned out to be more of an adventure than you were expecting. It was bad enough here on land when the sou'wester hit.
Yeah, the only consolation is it hit the Tinlanders just as hard.
Well, beyond securing the town, we managed to also make a deal with one of the local royalty. So we managed to avoid conflict here, although I'm proud of my rifles. We did a masquerade delaying tactic to manage to delay the approach of the princess's company for 2-3 days. Worked really well. Made them think that we were a whole bunch of cavalry instead of just 25.
How many of them are there?
It was a full company of elite infantry plus a what was the cavalry unit's size when it finally showed up?
50, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
But they came later. We were distracting the infantry. The old trick of branches, hauling out different covered pieces of fabrics to make it look like we were a lot more than we are.
Where are they now?
They've toddled on back home to I don't have the name for her. Oh, to Coral Haven. That's where the princess abides, apparently.
Well, capturing her would have been a masterstroke.
We did better than that. We made allies with her. Seems that she's not a particular fan of the queen. In fact, although she's very much a fan of the idea of herself being on the throne.
Yes, I'm sure she more than willing to make any concession to get there, and then once she's there, we'll have to remove her again, because once the crown sits upon her head, she'll suddenly not want to make all the concessions she had to make to get there.
I don't know. She made this deal with the Taylors present as kind of intermediaries.
Band of murderous thieves in the town?
Well, the Society of Ravens is a bit more than that here in Vitlu. They're not just in this town. They, in some respects, are the real power behind the whole country.
Isabel,
Supposedly.
perception sight, by the way, when he says that? Would Diego have his rifle with him? Would be walking around
Yeah.
with that?
Oh, always.
You notice there's something something glints off his rifle, but you kind of can't see it because he has it kind of slung over his back. Something almost caught your eye, but carry on.
I don't even know what that is myself, so wish you'd rolled better. We could both know. So we'll see. Anyway, worked out well for us at the moment. We were heavily outnumbered, both infantry and cavalry. It would have been a bloody fight for sure. Although Luciano had some surprises waiting for them past the gates. And we did manage to spike at least one of their guns before they deployed. And Cormac proposes to marry the princess when she is queen at some point down the line. He is engaged to be engaged, as it were. Oh, and I've also found a really good coffee shop nearby.
Man, how did
You
those
saved
days
your
go
only
then?
bit of good news for the end, I guess.
What was that?
Said you saved your only bit of good news for the end.
What, the coffee shop? Yes.
Yeah.
Well, look at it this way. The town is ours. It's undamaged. Pretty much now firmly under the control of Gallian forces. So should be pretty handy. How about you? Lose many in the storm and fighting after?
GM, how many were lost?
There was let me get the exact number, but I know the percentage because I did the rolls ahead of time. 15% casualties. Third dead, 2/3 wounded. And that's between your troops and hers and the Doms. He lost a couple people, but not a lot. The battle went relatively okay.
Oh, that's good at least. Nice thing about this being a port town is there are pro-imperial folks stuck here by the war, by shipping. I was able to help Bianchi recruit some for his little unit. Oh, by the way, the captain has breveted Bianchi Sous Lieutenant and has allowed him to create a small grenadier unit. Currently very small. It's him and eight recruits folded in under my nominal command and the rifles. All of that, of course, subject to being shot down by higher command. Lots of stuff happened while you were gone, really.
What do you mean, grenadiers?
Grenadiers, tall guys with big hats and axes. The captain was very insistent that they have axes.
Can they ride?
Yes, they're mounted grenadiers, just like mounted voltigeurs, I guess. Everybody's mounted in this play.
A reinvention of cuirassier without the armor, then.
I suppose. But Bianchi's apparently developed quite an interest in fortifications and sapping. And he always wanted to be a grenadier, if you recall back in the academy days, so looks like he's getting a chance at least.
Well, then let's be off and have some coffee rather than waste time here.
Sure, it's just around the corner. Oh, and we took over the embassy of the 10 Islanders for Corps headquarters. The 10 Islanders abandoned it, of course. This was after we got the Holy Grail from them. Or, well, actually, they were abandoning it when we got the Holy Grail from them.
GM, do I know what happened to the pirate captain?
They are last you remember. Actually, you have been told when you got here. They were repairing their ship up at the Storm Coast. They're about a day's ride north of here, fixing up what they can for their ship to get back to sea. They've unlikely gotten back to sea already. It would take time to repair damages like that.
All right, then I say, actually, I need to ride north along the coast. I'm certainly not gonna end up well, I guess have I already been able to recover the money I gave them, or do I need to go recover it? Because I mean, this failure is mostly on their ability to sail.
Yeah, they still have the money. You'd probably have to go get it.
Okay, so I'm gonna go do that. You're free to come with me if you want.
Tempting as it is, I think I'd better stay here in town and try and keep the captain out of trouble, particularly with the marshal mucking about. Unless you need the rifles.
I will alert all of you that Marshal Duval is present in the town.
This is personal. I won't be taking any of my men. I'll be going alone or with you.
Well, why aren't you taking any of your men? You're riding in to get a bunch of pirates to give you money back.
Because it's not official business. I'm not gonna ask them to die for that.
But did you spend official money or your money?
My money.
Oh my God, you and Bianchi. You have got to stop spending your own money on things like this.
Well, at the time it was a great investment because the ship that we would have captured would have more than reimbursed me. But their failure to have even the base level of meteorological knowledge scrapped that.
I mean, to be fair, the storm caught everybody by surprise, on land and at sea. I mean, I get what you're saying. I'm just saying.
I'm not entirely convinced of it. They're sailors. They should know these things.
Well, then so should have our sailors and the 10 Islander sailors.
Galleon sailors can barely find their way to galleon ports.
Seems cold, but okay. So how much money are we talking here?
Whatever number you have in your head, it's more than that.
I don't know. I got pretty big numbers in my head.
70 gold.
70 gold?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. You and Bianchi really just... You need a financial manager, both of you.
Well, then come manage my finances.
Well, you're going to need somebody to manage something. So are you going to be content with not getting the whole amount back? Because I can tell you they're going to want to negotiate.
Here's the plan so far. She's a pirate. But we've established some kind of rapport, so I'll go have a meeting with her, and then I will demand my money back, perhaps at sword point, and I don't think she'll want to die for it.
You realize you will be outnumbered by her entire crew.
I don't intend to converse with her in the open.
Okay. GM,
Yo.
how much what's Diego's sense of this being a good time to hie out of town on personal business for anybody in the Corps? Is this like a good time with everything going on, or would this be a really bad time to be absent?
I'd say either intelligence, military lore, or perception, empathy.
Definitely going to go with intelligence, military lore. 16.
You'll probably want to check in with Captain McNeil first to get leave. But at present, the Corps is resupplying, settling in, doing a lot of the legalisms that you guys started, but they kind of have to finish here in Seabreeze before they continue their march south, because there's a lot of talk between both sides of the Corps. But yeah, you'd want to check with the captain to make sure you don't have any pending. There's no upcoming thing coming, upcoming maneuvers that you have to do.
Right.
Main thing is don't be away for too long, because otherwise you might be considered AWOL. Like that's why you need approval. Otherwise you'll be considered a deserter.
Right. Let's go run it by Cormac, and then maybe on the way out of town we can see if Luciano's slaughtered the quartermaster yet.
Why?
Because he spent 50 gold on stuff for the army on a promise of being reimbursed of his own money again.
All right.
So both of you are looking to get your money back. Oh, GM, what was in that letter I got from my tailor friends? There's something about an appointment for my gloves.
Oh,
and they handed me an envelope.
Yeah, basically it's a you're to make an appointment with a metal worker in the summer ward who will fit you with a hidden dagger or hidden pistol to have on your person. That'll be marked as one of their weapons. But that's something you need to like find time to do, so they trust you to figure out when you can do that.
Okay, so
if you can't do it here in
like...
Seabreeze, then you need to tell them. You need to come back and tell them so they know where to direct you.
Right. So that's like the name and address of the metalsmith. Okay, cool. Right. Let's go see the captain.
And camera will swap around, but first I have to grab some people because I forgot at least two people. Should be on this map. Would be here. Oop. Oop, ah. You guys start heading up to the camps outside. The massive amount of tents that have encircled the outer walls and the mass amount of cannon and horse that are outside. A lot of the troops are inside. Most of the officers people take leave in the city, but you can't unload 10,000 people into this town. It's not that big.
I've just bought enough supplies to build another city outside the goddamn town.
Yeah. We'll cut to McNeil meeting with Major Leclerc inside his command tent outside. And I imagine a slight fast forward here. I imagine you will report what's happened. You report your actions in Seabreeze Cove in the
In
March.
writing, and if I could, get my lieutenants as well to hand in a small report of their own, that'd be also great. So, I'm backed up by multiple sources at least what happened.
Oh, and Diego's report will make him and his riflemen shine.
You are allowed to embellish as long as you want, as long as you stick to the story.
There's no need to embellish. We did some cool stuff. I negotiated for the surrender of the city, and we delayed the enemy through an excellent use of tactics. We were pretty cool.
Of course.
Give me a communication check, McNeil. And Borgia and can roll to assist. So if you get 10 or more there, Borgia, you'll get +1 to McNeil's roll.
Okay, just a communication roll.
Yeah. He doesn't. Will a 12 do it?
A 12 will be enough, yeah.
Okay.
You have 2
With
stud
2
points
stud
for what
points? I don't know. 2 to impress, I think.
Well, that's a good one.
it is. Did only do?
Let me see.
It might be. That was 3. No? Oh,
Yeah,
it gives you bonuses to the next roll. I see what you're doing. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
I'll spend 2 to impress.
So you report. We fast forward through the administrative part of your duties as Leclerc reads over reports, asks you questions, asks you to clarify this or that, what happened here, what happened there. It's not so much an interrogation for fault. It's I want to know what's happened. I want to have a picture of what you've been up to. And by the end of it, Captain, you've done a bit of a coup here for yourself. Nice little feather to your cap for your war.
Major, a question for me, if I may. What took you guys so long?
Oh, the speed of a corps marching. We had various other settlements and minor areas to be held. Plus, there were some arguments about splitting the corps on either side, even though the various higher ups agreed that we were going to be heading solely in force along the coast. So,
Did our messenger reach you a couple of days ago?
yes, your horseman got to us, and that's where I redoubled my efforts to get down to here. But you really didn't need us at that point. Whatever embattlement you had with with Coralhaven, it was long gone by the time we got here.
The prospect of battle seemed more terrifying to us than the actual outcome of the battle itself, you understand.
Yes.
I had not expected things to unfold as they did. But yes, we managed to hold out. Aside from that, may I have, sir, your honest opinion on the breveting of Luciano Bianchi?
Well, I think he should have had a commission long before this, back in LaSalle, even in the militia. But
And how do you think... Well, I earnestly agree, but how do you think the Marshal will take it, sir?
the Marshal is old guard. Don't get me wrong, he's a friend of constitutional order. I can't speak too ill of him. But he's an army man, not a militiaman. And his opinion of Lysel is not terribly high. But thankfully, we are in the corps by the good graces of the Emperor, so he can't really get rid of us. He doesn't have to be happy about it, though.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Captain. Sorry, Major. But isn't Mr. Bianchi in the good graces of the Emperor and the Secret Service for his actions in Lysel?
Well, the key word there is secret. The friends in high places will get him far. And point of fact, I have no official word on this, you understand? But
Of course.
I get the feeling that you and Bianchi, along with the rest of the heroes of Lysel, other than me, tugs at his uniform a little annoyed. Other than me, but you lot will be the first squadron, and the elite, your elites, may be seen to escort the Marshal. which
Oh,
he will use
joy.
as every opportunity to give you his thorough examination. If you are to convince him, being in his elite company will be your time to make Bianchi's plans more concrete. Because at present, the most I can authorize at the moment, without getting too many people angry, is that Bianchi is on a special training experiment with Borgia, as he already has permissions from the Emperor for his experimental rifles. But for the long term, if we don't get the Marshal on board, the other higher officers will not see a peninsular man in any sort of grenadier unit, let alone an officer's rank.
Oh, worry not, Major. I think it is not my first time nor my last one where I'll be buttering up old men who are friends of constitutional order, of course.
Raises an eyebrow at you.
Yes, yes. Things were quite dire during the war, if you remember.
Yes, I would kindly remind you that I'm also a friend of constitutional order, but I'll try not to take too much offense there.
No offense was
Cormac.
meant, Major. In fact, you are not an old man. You still have your spry youth.
Well, that's kind of you to say. Must be the wine in Lysel.
Oh, yes, the breakfast wine. I hear it makes people younger.
At least I think so.
May I ask your permission for another thing, sir?
You can certainly ask.
I'd just like your permission to see if we can raise auxiliary forces here to replace the men we've lost.
Feel free. You'll probably have a tougher time of it because everyone else is doing that, but I think I think the locals will be a lot more keen to join the 1st Squadron de la Selle than they are any other part of the Corps.
Quite right you are. I was in fact intending to speak with my officers about this to see if they would go along with the campaign, as they've spent more time amongst the common folk than I have, but it is certainly something that we can try. I was just thinking of getting a couple more men and women to supplement our ranks.
Right.
Even if they should serve as purely auxiliary forces. Of course, we would need someone who can speak trade at the very least. That is acceptable to you, yes?
Oh, yes, of course. I do have a question
very
for
well.
you there, Cormac.
Oh, first name basis. Go ahead, Major. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Sebastian.
He waves. We were neighbors there, Cormac. I think we can dispense on such things. At least in command tent. But,
Shoot, then.
what are the Tin Islanders up to in all this? Do you have any idea? Are they actually going to join? Are they going to try to break the Continental system?
You know, if I had an actual answer for you, I'd give it to you. Sadly, the High King's motives are quite as elusive to me as they are to you. But, I wish I could tell you more as to what they are planning, but I haven't had word from the Council of Lords and the Council of Commoners for quite a long time now. In fact, I haven't had word from my old butler, Gerard, if you remember him, for quite a long time. I had sent him to the Tin Isles, back to Strathcliffe, to scout out the situation, as it were, and prepare fertile ground for, I gotta position myself awkwardly, like, for later.
I do have a letter from him, actually. You can pick it up from my secretary outside. There's a couple letters that we picked up before we marched south.
Oh, I see. So he has been in contact. Well, why didn't I get back to you on that next time we speak then? I'm afraid I actually genuinely don't have any information. Until I see what Gerard has written. Unfortunately, you know, my brother, who is rarely lucid at times, is in charge of Strathcliffe, and I haven't the foggiest.
Well, the more we learn from the records of the Greenwind and what they were planning to do with the princess, the better. I'd rather not get another repeat of the ambush at Lysel here while we're in Vitlu.
Well, I assume that anything the Tin Isles might try at this point should be more on the nose, so to speak. I think the time for subtlety has long since passed, considering that they were on the verge of attacking at sea.
No,
If there is to be an official declaration of war, I wouldn't put it past them in the next month at the very least. Us being here in Vitlu is sure only to spark the flame further.
never mind your Lieutenant Dumas' battle with the Greenwind sailors.
My lieutenant may have acted rashly and perhaps impulsively, but it is something that we can always sell off as work of privateers. No one questions privateers, Major, or pirates in general. And for all intents and purposes, Lieutenant Dumas was here with me the entire time. Wouldn't you agree?
Which leaves Dom Rousseau, who's unlikely to give. She is likely to give different testimony to you in the light of the Saint Solara.
Well, thank the Emperor and Saint Solara that the records of such interrogations can be rectified by swifter hands than mine, should the need arise, of course.
Find those
If
swift hands, Cormac. Make this not my problem.
you got it, sir, and if it is in the interest of preserving the peace, sir, all of my officers were present with me, drinking coffee in a coffee house.
Have those written up to me, and I'll have them submitted once you have the addendums that you forgot to give me.
Of course, sir. I'll have my finest finest typist on it. If that is all.
Good day, Captain. He makes
And
a
likewise,
casual salute to you.
likewise to you, Major, and do try the coffee here. My lieutenant says it's quite something to behold.
He would know.
I'll reverse face and get the fuck out of there.
We swing over to Luciana Bianchi, who actually you find yourself not with the quartermaster at first, but with Riverwind.
Ah, Sir Riverwind, good of you to join us here in Seabreeze.
The Emperor has taken a interest in Vitlu, especially since you have made it convenient for the Empire to build its walls, all the better.
Well, I did try getting the gentleman back sooner, but I was a little occupied with a storm and a 3 times the size of the defending force marching on the city.
He takes out from his jacket a banknote and he holds it out to you.
Oh, what's this for?
Services rendered for the Secret de Bois.
Ah, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
On a glance, it looks like you have a banknote worth 900 silver pieces.
Fuck me.
Never want to hear you complain about money again, I swear to God.
And, secured an Imperial builder. It's spelled Imperial. There we go. So that'll be a bonus to the salon, of course, because you got them their builder that they wanted you to get. And the church aren't happy about it, because they don't like the old Magi ways. They think they get secrets long overdue for being forgotten. That's it, really. It's actually fairly confined.
Sweet. Just going to adapt the machine quickly. That puts the church at -2 and Lysel at 5.
So I've been led to believe that your captain have designs for royalty and monarchy.
That is apparently what was discussed. I was inside at the battlements at the time, ready to receive a cavalry charge. But, yes, apparently he's engaged to be engaged, I believe they put it as.
He's a little old for betrothals, but
Well, it means we didn't have to fight. We've essentially secured the country if we can take out the Queen and the First Prince, which is a lot easier said than done.
do you think this captain will actually allow for a regicide? Even if it's for the war?
I think if he's making a move like this, he might be planning something back home in the Tin Isles. I still firmly believe he's on our side.
Mm-hmm.
That's never changed. But if he's doing something like this and making a play for the Tin Isles, that also helps us. That then just means we'll have a massive naval invasion, worst comes to worst, of the Tin Isles.
Be sure to keep yourself close to Captain McNeil, would you? The Emperor may decide to approve of his ambitions or disapprove of them, and he will want you to be able to enforce his will should the time arise.
Understood. I would obviously prefer not to have to kill a friend, so hopefully he'll approve.
I've been led to believe that if it comes to that, you won't need it to do alone. I've heard that Lieutenant Borgia has found himself in the tailoring trade of Vitlu.
Ah, yes, I had a couple of interactions with these tailors. They clearly seem to be the ones who were running the show.
Well, better they weren't attacking us than not, but the more alliances the Empire has to bear, the more responsibilities will be and debts will be called upon us. If we can get one over on these tailors, the better. But that will be... I have no orders in particular on that. I am simply making you aware of what others in the salon are thinking.
I appreciate at least keeping me up to date. I know my role within the salon isn't the same as everyone else's. Everyone else, like yourself and the others, are the minds behind what happens. I just happen to be a useful tool out in the field, but still just doesn't harm having knowledge.
An ignorant tool's a useless tool. A thing I've had to remind members of the salon frequently.
Oh, the gentleman who I procured services for the Empire. I made sure he was treated well, and I also collected a bundle of his papers, if you're interested in them.
He nods.
I'll handle over the bundle of papers, including the knot gun.
Strange device.
So looks like it'll be a lot of fun. But yes, we have these papers, and I allowed him to keep some his coin from his house. It's more of a show of good faith and assurance that we're not actually trying to kidnap him, but hire him.
See, some would think that a tool like yourself would have muscled him over the head with the butt of your gun, but you have seen the whys of it. We'd rather he was loyal to the Emperor than imprisoned by him. Works the same, but the quality drops when one is held, and they're aware they're being held.
Well, this way he can still enjoy the luxuries of life and still get good work done.
Yes.
So unless you have any wonderful ideas on how I am supposed to help the Lysel.
Well, I have an idea for you. If you want to help fund the development of this, he holds up the paper. If you, you'll need the cash set, of course, but if you're able to provide 350 silver to the local salon and inform them to the, let's call it the River Project. He shrugs. They'll know it. I'll send word. Then we can see about you getting an experimental version of this, and you can give us some test results. We have some designers in Almania that I think will find these plans rather interesting.
Well, considering I have been breveted a sous-lieutenant of a grenadiers unit, having something like this would be a fun addition.
One should hope.
But, yes, I'll certainly fund that one. Any ideas of how I can capture a crown prince and a queen?
Make friends in high places, in the highest of places and the lowest of places. And be careful about being too dependent on the tailors. Their prices get higher the more you work with them.
Oh, I have no intention of working with the tailors. I'll leave that to Diego.
Good day, Bianchi.
Good day, sir. And he'll then go off and deal with the quartermaster.
Give me a communication bargaining roll. See if you can get the quartermaster to fund to take your receipts.
I'm just going to give you communication because that's all I got. I think I'm going to re-roll that because I want my goddamn money back.
Yeah, 8's kind of not good now.
God damn it. I don't think this is going to be a combat-heavy episode. Right, I'm just going to re-roll that again.
Yep.
Gonna be one of those rolls.
Oh no.
Yeah, fuck it.
So, you get 15% of your money back.
What, total?
Yeah.
Well, considering that was 1,020 silver.
Yeah, because you're able to get some of it reclaimed, but a lot of it is waved away as personal costs of war.
Oh,
And then you end up paying for like shot and repairs to your, tending to your horse, the paperwork, and well, you did have to pay for a commission application because you're breveted and you're considering getting a commission, so that came out of it. So there's a lot of the quartermaster was able to kind of pull up, but you're able to get some of it back because you always get something from the army.
yeah. But yeah, I'll after doing that, I'll just quickly go to the local branch to let them know of the river project, and I'll pay, what was it, like 350?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll pay that. Jesus.
So in a nebulous amount of time, you may find yourself in the possession of a knock gun. Benefits of
So
having
good.
friends in high places.
Nice.
Yeah, fucking, I'm not gonna complain.
It's only, eventually you're able to cross paths with the rest of your friends, Borja, Dumas, and McNeil, just in your part of the 7th Corps campsite outside.
Oh, I would request an officers' meeting at some point.
Yeah, you can probably call them up. Safwan shows up. A representative for Rousseau shows up, but Rousseau herself is still hospitalized.
Right. Well, hello everyone. It's been a couple of weeks, that's for sure. A couple of news first and foremost. You have all been granted permission to go ahead and recruit and replenish forces that we have lost during the campaign here for Seabreeze by recruiting from the local manpower pools. Please be nice to the locals and see if you can get a couple of them on our side to serve as auxiliary forces. Do not take more than we need, but try to get as much as we need. Everyone understood?
Sir, says Safwan.
So,
Good. Aside from that, I've received word, or scuttlebutt, that we may be soon moving out with the Marshal himself. Make sure that your uniforms and your men's uniforms are pressed prim and proper. Give your men showers or whatever else they might need, and get them ready for assignments. Hopefully soon we'll be moving out.
This will be the first
And
elite escort we've ever done since we joined the Corps. This will be... I mean, a lot of the militiamen will have a harder time of it, I think, but some of the General Army would be used to it. Even some of the General Army have never done an elite escort before.
yes, quite right. Which is why I think, for officers at least, it shall be mandatory to put on your dress uniforms in this case. Make sure you look the part and you play the part as well. As for the men, try and get them in, shipshape and Tin Islander fashion. Just a saying. But do try and get them all in order before we go, and
Where
polish what you can polish.
where will we be escorting the Marshal to?
I haven't the foggiest as of yet. Like I said, it is clearly for now. It's only scuttlebutt. I haven't got official news yet.
Fair enough.
But until then, replenish the ranks as much as you can. And, well, be about your business as you normally would, but do get your men ready for the whole ordeal. As it currently is a rumor, but I'm inclined to somewhat believe them at this point. Was there any other business from you, gentlemen, ladies? Or lady?
Isabel will say if I have your leave, I have some business outside of town to attend to today. Should be back before tomorrow.
Naturally. Tomorrow at midday, I shall convene another one of these. Please report back to me with any new recruits that you have found. I want them on paper. Oh, and Diego, please stick around after the meeting, will you?
Sure. Although I think I'm going to ride out with Isabel.
You are
That's all
welcome
right.
to, but I need you for a second.
Sure thing.
Okay, oh, yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Captain. While they go on their expedition, I'll I'll lead the recruitment drive. I know a few friends elsewhere in the Corps that can help me pull up some people, so...
Good. Bring the report to me tomorrow in writing who you've managed to recruit.
Will do.
And, well, try and make sure at least they know how to ride a horse.
Yes, sir.
Well, we're not an infantry company yet, so they haven't killed off all our horses. Right. As for the rest of you, dismissed. Dame Rousseau's representative, please inform me tomorrow or later this evening how she is feeling, and give my best regards to her, will you?
I will, sir.
Very good. All of you are dismissed. Diego, if I may.
Sure thing, Captain.
Yeah,
I'll get everyone. Yeah, we'll get alone. Right, Diego, I need you for something quite sensitive, if that's all right with you. While you're out with, you're going to be out tonight, I assume, but you are returning tomorrow, yes?
That's the plan, anyway. I don't think we're riding that far up the coast.
You have my permission to leave, of course, and everything's fine. But after you come back, I need you to, well, look, the situation is like this. Dame Rousseau will probably be very truthful in what happened with the Tin Islander ship that Isabel and her wanted to attack. I'm assuming Isabella will also be quite truthful in her reports, but for the sake of national peace, it would be ill-advised that such a report ever makes its way somewhere where the public can see it or where the Emperor can see it. I need you to do some doctoring after I've received the final report to make it less than truthful.
So, what's the problem with Isabel using her initiative and her own money to hire a ship to try and protect our naval forces?
We are currently not at war, and as far as the Tin Isles are concerned, we are also officially not at war. Therefore, the status quo must be maintained. We will not have Gallia be the one to start the war first. Do you understand me?
Well, but I mean, Isabel didn't attack them. They were moving to attack our ship. Isabel went after them. The storm came, and then various people were shipwrecked. And as I understand it, the Tin Islanders attacked our forces.
May I speak to you candidly? The powers that be would much rather have the Tin Islanders sinking our ship than us sinking them because they wanted to sink our ship. We didn't start the war in that case. They did. But as far as everyone is concerned, there is no war. And the Emperor and his powers would like it to be like that for the time being. Don't ask me to try and explain any further. Honestly, I have no idea. But I need someone to doctor the documents. Do you think you can do it?
I mean, what does writing fall under? GM?
Dex. Or
Dex.
writing, sorry, is intelligence.
Yeah. Right. And I guess that would also be where like forgery and stuff would fall.
That sounds correct. I'm going to double check, but I'm pretty sure that's right.
Let me just be out of character for a second. I thought of you because you have all these underground connections, and I thought this might be more up your lane. But if it turns out that I'm better at it than you are, I don't know. I guess I can try it. But I was just suggesting it to you because you are connected more to the criminal milieu, so to speak.
That's what I'm thinking. That when it comes to altering reports, particularly reports that funnel through you, if it's like under intelligence for writing, I think you have a higher intelligence than I do. I'm at 2.
I'm at 3, yeah, but
yeah.
I guess I suggested it to you first because of your associations with the less than savory members of society.
It would actually come to communication deception. That's the focus that would come up the most because there isn't a forgery focus per se. It would fall in writing is intelligence, but deceiving someone is deception.
I know your communication.
So it could be either way. It could be communication deception or intelligence writing because you're writing a certain type of report.
Oh well, then tell me that I'm better at it, I guess.
I mean, we can try and I can try and find some people, but A, it will cost, and B, it'll mean extra time. Whereas, since her report has to come across your desk before going up the chain of command, it seems to me the simplest thing is for you to take care of this.
Very well, I'll try, but should I have need of some of your contacts, would you be willing to provide?
If you're willing to pay.
We'll see.
There's no harm in bossing,
I'll
say.
let you know in any case. You are free to go, but be sure to return tomorrow by midday.
Sure. Diego will
Yes,
head
Mr.
out, shaking his head.
What am I to do with that boy? I tried to give him work, but he doesn't want to work. So lazy.
What is went a lie?
And-
What can you do?
I'll see if I can catch up with Luciano and see if he wants to ride out with Isabel and I.
Why? What are you two riding out for, if you don't mind me asking?
Because Isabel treats her personal money the same way you do, and so she's now going to try and get it back from the people she gave it to.
Do you know how much I got reimbursed?
How much?
15%.
Ooh.
That's 1,200 silver.
Wait, 15% was 1,200 silver?
No, of 1,200, I got.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Well, this seems to me yet another lesson in not spending your personal money.
It's all right. I got another 900 from Rowan.
Oh, very nice. I'm going to have to up my prices.
Oh, why? What are you charging for?
So, nothing as yet. I think I just got a tip out of nowhere, but anyway.
Yeah, I get that a lot. I mean, sure. I assume I'm there to look big and intimidating.
I suppose so. I tried to talk her out of it. She didn't want to take her forces, and it's Isabel. You know how that goes, and it'll be her versus however many people on the ship. So I figured we all three might as well get killed together.
Well,
Bounds of comradeship and all that.
if the three of us are there, at least I can take the brunt of it while you two run away.
I've always liked you, Bianchi. I'd kind of clap him on the back.
No, you just like that I'm a big target.
Dagger sticks out. Ugh.
I wouldn't think of you as a target necessarily, more like cover.
Same difference. But yeah, I'll ride out with you.
All right, let's catch up before Isabel gets too far ahead.
The three of you gather forth on the road to the northwest.
Yeah, as they're approaching, I'll, have gotten the horses. And as we get ready to go, I'll pull over to between Borgia and Bianchi and say, if the two of you aren't too fearful of the outcome, it might be nice to have a bit of sport on the way. If the two of you think you can keep up.
What do you have in mind?
Let's see how good on horse the two of you are.
That's kind of like me asking you to engage in a sharpshooting contest.
Yeah, or me asking the two of you to do some heavy lifting.
But I'm certain that I could challenge you, maybe even beat you at that.
At sharpshooting?
I'm not a bad shot.
Well, that's fair, but
None of us are a bad shot.
right. But I'm a really good shot.
Yeah, but with all things riflery and musketry, there's more chance to hitting anything with them than actual skill.
Well, what are you intending to wager?
Your life.
What do you have to? Well, I guess a wager isn't necessary, but I do see that it wouldn't be so sporting to do it without a wager.
Well, you're making the bet. Go ahead.
Careful, Luciana, she's broke.
Oh, I'm not at all though. Um, 4
How about-
gold.
You're on a bet of 4 gold. Ooh. Diego, can you match that?
Well, I could if I had any interest in risking breaking my neck on riding a horse across uneven terrain against someone who's a professional cavalry officer. You two go ahead. I'll rob the corpse of whoever's doesn't survive.
Well,
oh no, I'm not gonna.
Then
do
we'll
it.
have to wait for you for a while, I guess. All right, Bianchi, 4 gold it is.
Screw it. Why not?
All right. Dumas pulls on the reins for the horse to rear back.
Yeah, right before we
And
set off,
kicks-
I'm gonna break the horse's leg.
The horse rears, she falls off.
Yeah, and I'm gonna set off.
You don't actually attack her horse, do you?
No, I don't actually attack a horse.
I have to check. I've heard weirder things in my games. I always have to check.
Yeah, we wanted to. He wanted just to destroy the whole party and kill 3 characters here in inter-party conflict. That's
Oh
exactly.
yeah,
what
100%.
Oh, Klingon game. Awesome.
All right then. So this is an opposed advanced test. We'll say there are. It'll be whoever gets to the success. Whoever. So basically, the target number you're both aiming to hit. We'll say overall the target number will be 13. Some of it's road, some of it's off-road. So there's some of it's easy and some of it gets hard later. So overall, it's a 13. Each time you hit your number, you check your success die, which is the stunt die, and that adds toward a success threshold. The first person to meet that success threshold is the winner. And yeah, Diego Borgia, you're going to be like a little behind them, but you'll be able to fall after them, but you're not doing they kind of ride up into the horizon. You're constantly just catching up to them the whole time because they're racing as hard and fast as they can.
That's fine.
Uh,
I'll spend my time scouting and looking out for any people who might be following us or any dangers that might be those two might just be riding pell-mell into.
Give me perception sight, actually, on that front.
Or just perception in this case. 13. Not terrible.
I'll let you know what you see as the race goes on.
Okay.
Oh, you were about to say something, Dumas?
+1 for the spyglass, so 14. Yeah.
14.
Are we making these rolls, all of them, or are some of them going to be the horse?
No, it's you guys. I can roll to see if the horse assists, because you're the primary roller, but if they get at least 10 or more, then they add +1 to the rider's roll.
Okay. I just wanted to see if there was some way to take advantage of having a horse that is faster.
What I'll do is I'll give... Yeah, because you spent extra for your horse, didn't you? Something like that.
Yes. I spent... Yes, I spent more.
Okay, so actually, what you can do, you can roll running Constitution for your horse for its assist, and I'll be rolling for Bianchi's horse because he'll have like a regular dragoon horse. So it sets one.
I don't
That's
remember
good, but it'll be half
running.
decent.
I don't remember if Constitution running is one of the things I upgraded.
For the horse?
Because there were like 3 things. I just don't remember what they were because it's been so long.
Ah.
So I don't actually know if it's any different. I might have given him something else that's totally irrelevant.
Well, it sounds like a you problem. No. Hold on.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I just it's been so long. I forgot exactly what he is better at. This might not be the thing he's better at.
No. Yeah. You have Constitution 6 running.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the same number.
Okay, then
That's
yeah,
just
that's
horse.
not the thing I upgraded. Oh, I think I made him not so dumb and a little more perceptive. Because horses are pretty dumb.
Yeah, they are.
Intelligence is the same. Willpower is the same. Strength is better. And you made him better at jumping and intimidating. Yeah, no, you made him strong.
Okay.
You made him a little bit stronger.
So he's not as fast. So I don't. In that case, I don't even know if you want to roll the assists or not because they're the same. So.
That'll be the fluctuation because your horses
Sure.
your horses could screw up basically. So each of you roll off, and then I'll roll for the horses.
What were you rolling?
Dex riding.
Sure. I'll just probably roll dexterity.
Horses aren't much help.
If you want to save some time, you can just use the sheet that I have for my horse, since they're both the same, and it actually has it all set up already, so you don't even have to do visual math.
Yeah, I just click on the dice roller thing. I don't type it in. I'm lazy.
Yeah, I'm saying you could also still click one button and
Oh wait,
have
yeah,
the
wait,
math
because the
added
horses
in.
still do their thing. Yeah, they both would give. Yeah, because it's still like 6 plus 2 more.
Yeah,
actually, no,
if
it's 6 plus 2. Yeah.
So if their constitution is the same, you can use Smoke's sheet to just hit the running button.
So you both made it. So some progress is made. The race goes on.
Ooh.
You're both even in the second leg of the race. Isabel did
Roll
pull
me
away
a
a little
horse.
bit. By 4.
Are you caught up?
I'm caught up. Neck and neck. I'll just say the horses give you +1 because they're almost never going to fail their assist roll.
Oh, let me see. Do I spend those stunt points or no?
You can, yeah.
Is this what kind of?
Can you spend stunt points in an advanced test?
If it makes sense, that's the tricky part.
Okay.
Because some of them can assist you with the next roll coming up. That's why you might want to do that.
What table is this from?
Spells.
Spells. Okay.
No. You can use pretty much any. You can use any of the stunt tables really. Like you could boost your next roll if that's all you're doing. Something like skirmish doesn't really matter in a riding race. So the only thing I can think of that would apply that jumps out at me is boosting your next roll. But if you have an idea that sounds like it could make sense.
Extra information. Just on this ride, does anything pop out at me?
I would actually say that on the race along here, the road is pretty well maintained, and this area You've heard this area is actually fairly undamaged, and as you get closer to the battle site, it is pretty wrecked because there was a lot of shooting and explosions and stuff going on. But you've heard that elsewhere in the northern part of the peninsula of the not peninsula but of Vitlu is a lot more devastated by the core, but this area is markedly less damaged. And people are, and I'll say as well, on top of that, that the locals are finding it, your race interesting, and they don't seem to have, you're not seeing like glares of death from the locals around here.
All right.
Okay, let's roll.
Nope, even. Oh, there you go.
He's catching back up.
Hold on, I think.
Did I hit it first?
So you both crossed the number I was looking for. With Dema getting you both crossed the finish line first, as it were. You both hit this roll. You both crossed the threshold I was looking for. And the way you test who's there, who got there, who has more after passing. Dema had 11. Bianchi had 10. Dema just barely beat Bianchi.
Wait, I've got some points. Wait, I've got an idea. Basic exploration stunts. 5 for swiftness. So in advanced or challenging tests, you do not use up your time increment, and you can roll again to contribute.
You could do that, yeah. If you get a success in this roll, you might push past. Yeah.
And I'm gonna boost 1 to give me a +1 to the roll.
Oh no.
Oh no. No.
Bianchi just Dema. It's like you're riding, and it's like you're gonna beat him, and then somehow he's spurring his horse that just extra bit faster, and then practically rides it into the ground and gets to the battle site just a bit more than you.
Cavalry woman, my ass.
So should I roll initiative now there, Dema, or I get the turn order thing going. Hold on, let me get
Dumas is...
Here you go.
Dumas pulls the horse around and says, I didn't think you'd put up that good of a ride, but that was fun.
Indeed, I very much enjoyed it. Thank you for the distraction from the last couple of days, Isabel.
I guess we just... well, I guess, does this race... It was like a day's ride, so we didn't, like, race the whole way, right? We just, like, raced, I don't know, a mile or two.
Whatever you guys would have felt reasonable, yeah.
Yeah, so, like, we're still, like, sitting beside the road somewhere waiting for Diego to camp up to, like, catch up to, like, continue the ride.
Wait, don't tell him who won. Let him guess.
He's very perceptive. Although, with it being neck and neck, it was hard to tell who did win unless you were right there.
How about 2 gold? He guesses you.
Sure.
God, we're fucking idiots.
Let's roll back. Where is he? Did you roll early? We did a perception roll early.
14 was my total.
14.
So you got me.
Yeah. The only thing the two things you see is the same thing Dumas saw from before. Like there's people who watch from like the little shacks and stuff who see the horses racing around a bit, and there's no death glares or no one hiding in the bushes or anything like that. People around here don't. The impact of the war hasn't hit the Seabreeze Cove really, other than the mass amount of people that showed up. But the locals aren't as frazzled, I suppose. But and you do see who won between Dumas and Bianchi. That's all you see.
Okay.
Because I rolled for something else. And I got way too many stump points, so that's unfortunate. So you're able to catch up to the two of them.
Okay. Have fun?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for you.
As much fun as one could have when not everyone agrees to play.
Oh, the pressure of my peers. However shall I survive the disdain I hear in your voice? I guess I'd just go off into the woods and commit suicide, taking comfort in the fact that you were soundly beaten by Bianchi on horseback.
Yeah.
Well, I've got half my money back.
Off I go.
I would I'd put forth a friendly challenge to make you prove your claims of accuracy, Diego, but I have a feeling I'll need that powder shortly. So
Well, let's try not to. Let's try not to start a war with the Vitluvians. Not the Vitluvians, the Greenlanders. Vinlanders. Yes, whatever. The Americans.
The
I was
land
about
of
to say,
Vin, of wine.
you mean those like seal hunters? What? I only heard about them in books. It's like 3 people that have ever been there.
Oh god, we're gonna get shot, aren't we?
I guess right. We'll continue the ride in good company.
Is this how you're gonna get out of paying me? You're just gonna get me shot?
That night, McNeil, you're invited to the quarters of Marshal Baptiste Duval.
Oh, joy. Okay. I'll get my I'll get my normal uniform on, the blue and greenish one. And my fancy hat, my cane, and yeah, let's go.
Maybe McNeil can have a princess and a marshal.
What now?
You find yourself in what was your office, richly decorated already by saddle and some pistols and little statuettes, and paintings that were in here have been taken down and replaced with galleon paintings. The core flag is hung up on one of the walls. You see there's a big chart table and a few officers that are who walk by you who are way too high rank for you, who pass you by, and I hope you wisely salute or acknowledge each of them as they pass you. But in short order, you find yourself in the company of the marshal. There are some guards waiting outside who close the door behind you. Marshal Duval is he is younger than you by a decade or two. But he is a stout-looking grenadier, tall-looking barrel of a man, dressed in gold and whites and metals and bits of, and of course, he actually seems to have a flourish of the militarist pin, whereas some militarists like Diego or Dumas, it's a pin that you'd wear somewhere. You're not hiding it, but it's not big. But he's a marshal, so he has this big cross swords on a book sort of thing, along with all. It's almost the same size as the rest of the medals he's wearing. His hat is decorated and leafed in gold with various decorations. Some of them not from, most of them not from the 7th Corps. They're from other units that he's led. But you see, there's new ones that have been added. The most you probably would have seen this guy is when the 7th Corps assembled back in Gallia. You've never really had cause to speak with the Marshal personally before now.
Okay, I would like to give a proper military salute. You know, hut.
Yes, it is the Earl of Tin Island, yes, and a fancy bit of captain's kit. Very good, very good. And who let you dress up like that, old man? He walks around the table, kind of flicking his baton a bit.
I'm sorry, did he say who let you dress up like that?
Yep. Who let you dress up like that, old man?
Uh-huh. I took the liberty of dressing like that myself, sir. I hope it is nothing too bad.
Oh, it is proper fine, in proper order, yes. Very good. I have heard that you are a bit bloodless, a bit lacking in the vigors. What, you too afraid to kill a few people there, Captain?
No, sir. If you are referring to the town here, then a Hearts and Minds campaign seemed better in order than Salty Earth, if I may speak so freely.
How can you strike fear into the Vitluians? What, did you offer them a bunch of sandwiches of roast beef and tell them stories of Maithcliff or whatever it is?
The enemy fears a force that can walk into a town and conquer it without spilling a single drop of blood more than a force that leaves nothing but fire and ash in its wake, sir.
Ah, I see. Sort of like how the Tin Islanders did with Lysel. Ah, I see. Only fair. We treat those who consort with our enemies and trade with them, and we let them keep their little city and not punish them in any way. That seems perfectly fair. I'm sure the people of Lysel really appreciate that, Captain.
Well, what the people of Lysel appreciate or not, Captain Marshal, is frankly none of my concern. My concern is that these people follow the law of the Emperor as it was said by the Emperor, peace be upon him, and that they come towards our constitutional system. Sir, if I may be so blunt, sir, a scorched earth policy would leave them less inclined to do so, sir.
Give me communication. See if you can get this guy to ease up on you, because he is coming at you hard. Get the feeling he doesn't like Tin Islanders much. And he actually gave me communication etiquette.
I am nice, aren't I? 22, does it?
Yeah. He gives you a stern look. He walks right up into your personal space. And yeah, he does tower over you a tiny bit. Not as the hat kind of adds height, and now that he's a lot closer, you realize he's not all that tall. It's just he's wide, you know what I mean? He gives the impression of big, but he's just a guy in a nice uniform. Higher rank than you in the
Just a little fella.
He gives you a big, heavy clap onto the shoulder and gives you a good shake. Good, good. I wouldn't want one of my officers in the elite company to be whimpering away just because I shouted at them a bit. He shoves you back a tiny bit, and then he walks back around his desk and just kind of waves you to follow after him as he goes to sit down.
Of course, Marshal. We both serve the same man, don't we?
Oh yes, our great and glorious Emperor. The
Long may he
artillerist
live.
who could be. Whoever thought that man was going to see himself with an imperial crown. Ha!
Well, I'm certain that he least of all expected it.
I don't know about that. Lycellians can be an ambitious lot, even if they do pull from Wendelani stock. But hey,
You
Wendelani stock's
mentioned
good. I'm not saying no to their wine.
you mentioned elite company, sir.
Why, yes, Captain. I did indeed. I am going over to inspect what the other half of the division's up to. The other division, I'd rather say. And make sure they didn't wreck Aquahaven too much. I mean, like you said, I have a nice house. The people here aren't throwing tomatoes at me. And the assassins aren't trying to kill me for once, which is a change. A welcome one. But I want to make sure Aquahaven has the same sort, and I'd rather not move whole divisions just to figure that out. So you and the rest of the elite guard are going to be pulled with me, and we're going to do a little trip over there and see what's what. And I think I may even give you a chance to explain to me why in Saint Solara's Holy Grace a peninsular is being considered for commission. But we won't get into that argument right now. We're both in a good mood. I don't want to spoil it. So all you're going to do is say, yes, sir, thank you very much, sir, and you're going to piss off.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Will that be all, sir?
Yes, yes. Goodbye then, Captain McNeil. Goodbye.
At once, sir. And I will about face and piss off.
The two guards, as they walk, when you walk by, they give you a good captain, and they give you a nice sharp salute. What's your militarist reputation?
It's at a minus if I recall correctly, but let me give you for sure thingy. So we got a +1 here, +1 here, -1 here, -1 here, so we're at a 0 right now. -1 +1, so 0, -1, +1. +1. Hey, at a +1. Hey.
Captain, one of them says after the salute as you're starting to walk away.
Yes, soldier.
They fish out a folded letter, wax sealed and everything, and hold it out to you. Invitation for dinner later tonight, by the marshal.
Oh. Common sense, is it? It's not advisable to spurn this invitation, right?
Give me perception empathy on this.
I mean, he was kind of a rude boy. A 9 won't do it.
You're not sure. He was kind of hard to read.
I'll take it, wave it a bit, and say thank you, soldier. Here's a silver piece for your efforts.
Sir, and he takes the silver, and that disappears into his uniform.
Saint Solar, preserve me. What have I gotten myself into? I'll quickly pop over to Leclerc's tent if he's around and ask him if he got the same invitation. Like, hey, Sebastian, off-duty hours. Did you get one of these as well?
One of what? Kind of over to the letter.
I'll waft over the letter to him.
Oh, this is the marshal's seal.
It's an invitation to dinner, supposedly.
Oh no. Well, lucky you. He holds it out to you. You get to listen to the Marshal's war stories about how he fought in the revolution alongside our emperor. Just enjoy the wine, play the diplomat, and actually, you want a favor from him? Make him think you like him. Even if you don't and you think he's a...
Gassed up bag of old farts?
Well, I didn't say that.
Of course, it'll go on the record as me.
Just mind yourself. He does have friends in Lumerburg.
I would think that after my service, I had some friends in Lumerburg as well.
That's the problem with staying neutral there, envoy. He shrugged at that.
Fair point. Right. Well, before I do that, I have some reports to finish for you, Sebastian. Expect me in about an hour's time, will you?
Just hand it off to my secretary. I'm gonna start laying down here in a bit. I've been at all that. He waves at his desk pretty much since sunup, so I'm gonna
Wait,
get a
wait,
nightcap and rest.
remind me, GM, how are we with mechanical pocket watches? Do those exist?
They would, yeah.
I'll pull out my mechanical pocket watch. What time is it?
I would estimate by this point it's probably around 7:30, 7:45ish.
I'll like pull out my pocket watch, look at it. Oh, Saint Solara, preserve me. You have gotten old. Good night. And I'll go falsify those reports that he wanted.
You can give me intelligence writing or communication deception.
I'll give you communication. That's a better one. I'll spend an AP to reroll this, unless you think a 12 would do it.
So, well, I have a question. This one of these is falsifying a report I wrote, right?
Yeah, unless you were, well, if you were completely truthful in what happened, then yes.
I don't think anyone actually asked me whether or not I did, or asked me to.
Oh, well, that's a shame. I'll just write your report for you then.
Well, no, I'm saying we might assume that I did write a report. What I was saying is neither McNeil or Leclerc ever asked if I would just falsify it on my own without having.
Yeah, I assumed you had too much integrity for such a thing. Do you?
You assumed a lot.
No, you would have to ask.
I assume much, it would seem. And based on my assumption, would you have too much integrity for such a thing?
That's what I'm saying. McNeil would have to ask Dumas.
Right. Okay, well, I think it's too late to turn back the clock now, so if that's okay with you, I'll just falsify your report.
Oh, well, you don't need my approval for that. I was just bringing that up in case you wanted to ask.
You want
Well,
to
okay,
desist.
let's put it like this. I would have read your report. What would you have been completely honest in your report?
With no other influencing factors? Yes. Like if it was just write what happened, then yes, I wrote what happened.
Grand, great, because the request to falsify it actually came afterwards, so I wouldn't have asked you to falsify it beforehand, so I'll get around to falsifying it right now. Would a 12 do it, or no?
To give you an idea, well, I'll be rolling opposed anyway.
I'll AP it then.
I'll tell you 12 would be like an average roll.
I'll AP it then just to be on the safer side, because normally I got a pretty high stat. This should be an easy roll.
331's pretty low.
Oh god. I'll give you another one.
Okay.
That's my last one. Screw it. You know, better. So
Yeah, no,
I
I'm gonna
think
struggle.
if you can beat that, then those guys are real good.
No, there's no way in hell.
The problem is the original 12 probably would have been just
You
fine.
would
But
have. Yeah. Well,
hey, that's the peril.
Yep. But hey, yeah, you and actually, due to that, false reports for Leclerc adds to the militarists, obviously, because you help them out maintain things. You helped out the salon. The nobles aren't going to be happy that you hit this.
Are the nobles really clamoring for war that hard?
Well, it
The
looks like
nobles
the
or the
emperor's hiding
monarchists?
stuff from
Well, also, if he was successful, how do they know?
in the long view of things, they'll know that something happened. For some reason, there's rumors that something happened, but when they look up the paper trail, there's nothing there, and it's like, wait a minute. They don't know exactly what he lied about. They just know that something was changed, and they're annoyed that he changed it. Especially since it happens to be a benefit to the emperor and the militarists who support him.
I mean, in that case, shouldn't you get a... Oh yeah, just want to say a plus for Salon.
Yeah. So a plus with militarists and Salon, a negative with the monarchists and radicals.
Hey, false reports for Leclerc. Okay. Noted. I'll hand them off to his secretary, and then I'll go and dress up nice for dinner, and we can get to that when we get to that.
We flash forward to the next day when the Dumas, Bianchi, and Borgia party arrive at the crash site, the Storm Coast, where 3 ships are beached. Although the HMS Greenwind is being cannibalized to repair both the Vinlander ship and the Galleon ship. Because they don't care if that thing goes back to sea.
Are we going to be able to make it back to town for midday like Cormac told us?
If you ride through the night, you can make it.
Okay.
All right, then as we start to see them, but before we get within earshot of anyone, I'll say the plan is simple. I intend to just meet her as if continuing business and concern, and when we are secluded or when I think the moment is opportune, then I will make the request. I do not intend to make the request surrounded by everyone and their neighbor.
You want me to find someplace to keep a rifle eye out just in case?
Does it look like there's still a chance for no one to know Diego rode with us? Like if he stops here and jumps off a horse?
There's a chance. He would do a stealth roll, but it's possible he could sneak away.
And would you go with him, Bianchi, or?
I'm probably best going with you. If you go in the room, something kicks off, I'll be outside the room to stop everyone else running in.
Alright, then good luck, Diego. I guess
Fair
we'll
enough.
see if your accuracy is all that it is claimed.
Well, let's hope we don't need it. So yeah, I will dismount and go stealthing off to try and find a good sniper's nest.
Give me dex stealth.
And I do get a reroll with this for talent if I need it.
Let me check. I don't think I have a huge bonus. These guys are perceptive, but they're not like super perceptive. I don't think. Adversary. Guys like this. Rank and file probably won't, but first mate might see you, so we'll do that. Would it be on perception? No, it'd be on like sailing or leadership. It wouldn't be on seeing stuff. So they have a tiny bonus because they're first mate. Perception. And that focus doesn't really apply. Oh no, they'd have it. So. Ooh, 14.
No, I still get it though.
Yep. You have 3 sub points as you're able to find you easily evade the rank and file sailors, but some of the officers who are meandering about are looking for you, and you just evade their notice.
Okay. Then let's see. I got 3 stunt points. Spend it for extra information while I'm finding my nest. See what I
You do
learn.
notice there is a tension between the Galleon sailors and the Vinlanders, but it's being softened by the fact that they're both pillaging the same source. So it's more of a tension of, I want to repair my ship, well, I want to repair my ship. As long as they don't run out of supplies out of that ship, things should be okay. But if it turns into one ship or the other getting to sail, you don't think people are going to get killed, but people's jaws are going to get broken, you're pretty sure.
Okay. So yeah, let me find a good place where it's going to be hard for somebody to sneak up on me from behind and settle in.
Dumas and Bianchi, you walk up to. I assume you're walking up to Ardvitsen's position, to the Vinlander ship.
Right up, but yes, right up to them. And call out, is Captain Everetson around?
Yeah, just over there under the tent. One of the sailors calls out to you. You can tie up your horse over there if you want.
Go. I will. I mean, I'm gonna ride the horse near the tent. If there's something convenient to tie off to, then I will. Otherwise, for a few minutes, I'm not that worried about it. He's just gonna eat grass next to the tent.
Give me Dex riding, because if you don't tie it off this further out, you'll have to like meander the horse through people, and while they're like moving goods around and milling around and stuff, so you'll have to kind of get people. You'll have to ride through the throng to get closer. Not that they're actively trying to stop you; it's just there's a lot of people moving around, moving stuff.
Yeah, 15.
15 will do it. It's not that hard.
Insight? Do I look like if I have to get out of here quick, we will be able to?
You'll have to do another roll to get out, because you're kind of parking yourself in the midst of a working area. It's not impossible, but you'd have to make sure you're not riding through people or riding into some heavy thing that they're moving. Although maybe it'd be a dex check, because it's avoiding obstacles and stuff like that.
Okay, would the spend on insight give me a bonus to that, or would it give me a bonus to trying to find the way to do it now?
It'd give you a bonus to that roll if you have to do it.
Okay. Then yeah, I'll dismount and walk in the tent.
Bianchi, you'll have to give me a dex riding roll to follow after Dumas, because Dumas rode into the crowd there, so... Yeah, you're able to do it.
He's born in the saddle, I tell you.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, you thread the needle and get yourself up to where Dumas' horse is.
Extra information?
Anything in particular you're looking for? I have an idea.
Like how the camp is laid out?
It's not fortified in any way. It's more about making it as efficient as possible to repair the ships. It's building efforts. It's a makeshift shipyard, shipwright sort of thing, where the sailors are mostly they're worried about not people attacking them. They're more about thieves stealing their materials.
Okay, and I'll spend the last one for one in assist for Dumas.
Okay. Oh, the two of you are able to stride over inside the tent where Ardvitsen is. She looks up. Oh, Isabella, you seem to be doing rather well for yourself.
I have managed. Came to see what state you were in.
Well, if your sailor friends would be a lot kinder about things, we would have been out of here, but we're still racing to repair first. But it's all right. We got to kill some Tin Islanders, so all's well.
Is anyone else in the tent with us? I look around. That's me asking, not me saying out loud.
Yeah, there's her first mate and her carpenter are there with her. Kind of, they were the three of them were kind of looking over how exactly what they wanted to fix first, that sort of thing. And as you and her are talking, they kind of they move to They move closer to each other so they can keep talking, but she's kind of moved a little bit away from them so you two can keep talking. But you're still both basically in the same tent next to the same table, to give you an idea.
All right.
Oh, you're that Bianchi fellow, aren't you? The one that rode off with that letter the churchy lady wanted.
Yes, the one who also got shot and had to ride through the entire night, carrying a person on his back.
Well, you should have just dropped the guy. Would have sped you up. He's probably why you got shot.
Well, considering he was worth 900 silver, no, I wasn't going to drop him.
Who'd he murder for 900 silver?
Don't you worry about that.
I suppose. Too late for me to poach it now. Damn, I should have just took him from you. Darn, I wish I knew he was worth that much. Darn it.
Well, I would have liked to have seen you try.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't do it, but, people. She waves.
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't. You're not the kind of captain that would rob somebody, right?
No, not without a writ from a lawful monarch. I'm an upstanding sailor, after all. She smirks. The two people at the other side of the people overhear that, and they just chuckle to themselves. Like, yeah, sure, and they just wave their hand and continue talking.
Then Isabel says, well, then since gold was taken and services not efficiently rendered, I think in an effort to keep your name as someone who doesn't rob, you should return my gold.
Give me communication, bargaining. You do get +1 to this because she already kind of likes you anyway.
Does she fall within any faction?
She would. I'm trying to think which one she'd be.
Oh, wait, that's only communication persuasion, not all communication rolls, isn't it?
Communication checks.
Okay.
Any communication. It's if you're trying to strength intimidate. That's when it doesn't work.
Okay.
She is
Bourgeois, maybe, or because she is a ship owner.
yeah. She's not political enough to be a revolutionary. So yeah, she's bourgeois.
All right, then I have a +6 taken into account that she's not a militarist. That brings it down to a +3. Which puts me at 16.
I think you also get one from me.
17.
Because of the assist, yeah. I did a willpower roll for her to see if she really, really wanted to fight you on it and how much she really cares about it. I was hoping you forgot. she just folds her arms and closes her eyes, just sighs.
Have you ever forgotten about 70 gold?
No, I haven't. No.
I didn't think so.
Well, you did take a good hit to the head when you fell over. I hoping you forgot. All right, 70 gold.
Well, if you wanted me to forget, you would have needed to hit me again.
I wasn't the one who hit you. It was that tinner that hit you.
No, I wouldn't accuse you of that. I was just saying that.
I suppose I could hit you while you were down, but murder's kind of frowned upon, especially by one's paid employer. Tends to sour the water a bit. Sour the water? Sour the milk, Captain. That's what I meant to say.
I've never successfully engaged in privateering, so I'm a little bit unsure of what is and is not part of the occupation.
Well, just keep at it and you'll learn. Yeah, and you know what? I do feel bad that we didn't get to do what we wanted. Okay, so I'm gonna pop up to the ship. You can send Bianchi with me if you want. Get your gold, and actually I have some papers I grabbed off of that Tin Island ship. I'd rather you have it than them. She gestures over at the galleon sailors across the shore.
I was like, I kind of point at them and say, "We're the same."
No, you're
But
not. You're a
in
landlubber.
wait, what?
You're a landlubber. It's different.
Oh, well, being rather sporting. So assuming that my goal does actually make it back down here with those papers, I'll then escort you over to them, and we'll establish an understanding between the two of you that is mutually beneficial.
Pardon?
I'll help you get off this beach faster.
Ah, good. Yes, sure. Great. Okay, tall and handsome, with me. She strides up to her ship.
Oh, my pleasure.
Hey, looks like we have another sailor. And some people start whistling at her and Bianchi. And she just kind of waves at them like, oh, shut up.
Don't worry, gents. She couldn't afford me.
Diego will be clocking things.
Well, and that's the thing about recruiting new sailors. All it takes is some cold beer.
Did you enjoy a
And,
rum drink, lad? You're in the
yeah.
Navy now.
Borgia.
Yeah.
You're hiding out on your vantage point, all by yourself, all on your own, with your.
You're emphasizing that a lot.
Yeah.
I do not think he means alone in the same way you do.
I know. I think we have what we have here is a failure to communicate.
Oops, wrong thing. I'm clicking on all the wrong thing. Where's that thing?
Stay
Here's
over there.
some-
You're good. You got your little bed. You stay in there. Stay in there, Chastoot. It's okay.
They're huge. You're fighting a giant. Wait, wrong game.
Bigger they are, the harder they fall. Also, bigger they are, the harder they hit.
Check something here real quick. Yeah. Oops. Yes. So you're. Has he unsuccessfully participated in piracy? Yes, Dumas did try to engage in some privateering. Unfortunately, weather happened. Also absence, but weather. That's the narrative reason. How about a player? Bianchi, just for that joke. Bianchi, you get a action point.
Yeah,
Thank
he
you very
deserves
much.
something for that joke.
It's true. Savage Worlds, that would definitely earn a Benny.
That's not saying a lot. In Savage Worlds, everything should earn a Benny.
Savage Worlds is awesome. This episode brought to you by Savage Worlds.
No, it is not. No. Not unless they're paying me. Then it is. Which would be a weird advert, but you know.
If Pinnacle starts paying you, I'll do my Clint Eastwood impersonation and make Borgia a Deadlands character. It'll be fine.
So yeah, you are sitting there, watching and waiting, and then you feel a stabbing sensation in your upper shoulder, and someone, as if they came out of the hills, is just there stabbing you in the shoulder.
Dude,
With the
that
hood
seems
drawn up.
rude.
You take some damage. Give me a Constitution stamina test.
This isn't good. Ooh, I
Nope.
think I will action point that.
You might want to. Nope.
Jesus Christ. All right, let's just burn through it all so I can go ahead and get poisoned or knocked unconscious. 15. Jesus.
Ooh, that made it not hurt it. That just got it.
Thank God.
You're welcome.
Daddy
First
now.
off, oh no. First off, you take 9 damage from the dagger itself.
Okay. Still get to subtract armor from it.
Yes.
Okay.
And then, you now, because they stabbed you, you don't get the full effect of the poison, but some of it did get to you, so you suffer from a -1 to dexterity, fighting, and accuracy until the end of the encounter.
Okay.
Roll initiative, because that was their surprise.
Okay. Where is my token? There. And then initiative. 15.
And that's with the -1 to the roll.
No, so it's an even 14.
Their
I got-
success die is higher than yours, unfortunately. They actually go first.
Their success die?
Yep.
They set this.
Oh wait, I got it backwards. I'm wrong. Sorry, it's you first.
Yeah. I was about to say, yeah, because I have 3 stun points in theory.
Yeah. So to give you now that you actually have, so that first time was just hood, dagger, ow, and then now that you had you're actually in turn order properly. This person is dressed in a very dull, almost blackish blue, like a almost blackish blue and navy blue. There's something darker than navy blue. I can't think of it at the moment. They do seem to be
Would
wearing.
you say raven in color?
No, I wouldn't actually. That is worth asking. They do seem to be wearing armor. Underneath all their kit, they seem to have various belts holding various vials and daggers. They have a pistol on their hip. They do have a sword. They haven't drawn that, and in their hand they have a dagger. And their face seems to be covered with a bandana across, covering their nose. Although you can tell that they are paler of skin. They're pale of skin, I should say.
All right.
You can see
So
their eyes.
do I have the space to bring my rifle around and shoot him with that?
You will be suffering a penalty because you're firing You're firing at a melee opponent.
Okay, so I think instead I will.
You can back off. It just eats into some of your movement. You basically spend double movement moving away from somebody for the first couple yards. So instead of 1 yard, it's 2 yards to move away from them, and then the rest is normal.
Right. Okay.
It just eats your minor doing that. That's the problem.
Let me look up actions. Okay, that's what it is. Ready is a minor action as well. So yeah, I will take a ready minor action to draw my fancy pistol and then shoot them.
Pack.
Okay, and this will be at -1, whatever it is. So 16.
Hits.
Don't think, unfortunately, no stud points, which is disappointing. And pistol is there. Damage. Raz, blemme mataz. 11s.
Bang. Catch them in the shoulder as they are moving rather rapidly, forcing you to, and then swatting at your hand as you're trying to shoot them, and then you catch them in the shoulder.
Fair enough.
After this guy goes, then Dumas and Bianchi can join the initiative because you would have heard. It's hard not to miss a black powder weapon being fired. The whole camp the whole coast is now awake because is alerted to this because someone shot a pistol nearby. So it goes to them. They attempt to stab you again.
I dodge artfully. 14
That
is my defense.
19 to hit.
Yeah, so they get through my defense.
I don't have the stunt dice I needed for the thing I wanted to do, so oh well. Spending only 1 stunt point for Pierce armor.
Does that have the armor rating?
Halves it, yeah.
Okay.
Does Borgia have armor?
I mean, not a lot. It's leather, but
Oh, okay.
it has reduced
Oh yeah,
damage.
y'all had like those leather surcoats.
Yeah.
8 damage.
I was confused because I know that it's not too long until we get natural armor or something like that.
Heroic armor, yeah.
3, 4, 5, 6. Okay.
So, Dumas and Bianchi, you can now roll initiative because you're aware of the.
Oh, very fancy.
I didn't have the token selected. Can you manually enter me?
I guess. God.
I'm not giving up that roll. Let me look for some stun points. You get stun points on initiative, don't you?
I didn't think you did, or I would have used mine.
Oh, do you not?
I'm gonna double check. I was told on Thursday it doesn't. But I thought it did, so maybe I'm screwing it up. Whoops, wrong book. Not wrong book, wrong part of the book, I should say. Basic rules, combat. Oh, initiative rolls never generate stun points, even when they roll doubles. There you go.
Okay.
I did not. I always thought the other way. Yeah, Dumas, you hear the shot, and you know that's roughly where Borgia was. So unlike like most of the camp is confused, and even Artisan, she's with Bianchi as well. Everyone turns and starts getting ready to grab at stuff to defend their position, but they don't know what's going on. But you and Bianchi both know that came from where Borgia's hiding.
All right.
I'd say he's
How far?
I'd say he's within. I have to visualize. He is approximately about 100 yards off.
Oh, right. And speed is directly translated into yards?
Yep.
Am I within 6 yards of my horse?
I would say so, because you parked it close the way you did.
Parked the horse.
You
Just backed him in there. I made sure to do a 3-point turn with the horse. If I use my movement to get to him, how does that affect? Oh, I need reminding on mounting up and
So-
how that changes actions and movement.
It would be a major to get up on the horse. You would use part of your movement to get on the horse, and then what I would say is that you would whatever extra movement you have left over, you can use. And if the horse has some, like you add the horse's movement to your new max speed becomes the horse. So you, as long as you can get to the horse, minor action, I move to the horse, major, I get on the horse, and then you have whatever extra movement that horse would have given you.
I will say that according to the book, mounting horse eats up only half your movement.
Oh,
So
That-
it's a
that
minor
makes
action
sense.
that eats up half of it. Yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah, because getting from prone to your feet is half your movement as well. Same difference. Yeah, no, sorry, I got it wrong. So yeah, no, you still have your major, so you'd move half your movement. So you'd eat
3.
3 yard. We'll say 4 yards total. 3 to get up on it, and 1 to just get over there.
Okay. And then subtracting from his, that would leave 14. And if I used major to run, that would get me
Double its speed in yards.
Well, 14 plus it's normal, right? So 32.
Hey, GM, is my dexterity higher than my opponent's, by the way? I'm a 4.
With your penalty? Wait, no, the score is still the same. It affects rolls, not the actual number. That's different.
Right.
Sorry, you caught me. I'm in a different part of the book when you asked me that question. No, it is not greater. You're equal.
Okay.
Run moves up to increases your movement not from your base up to double that number. So it's not double your amount plus your base. It's just you double your speed is just doubled, and that's
Yes. No,
Yeah.
I was saying normally, if you're starting from a stand, taking the run action would double your movement.
Right.
But I had to use some movement to get on the horse.
Right.
So its normal move is 18. Subtract 4 for my movement, it's
Right.
14.
Right.
And then you not double it to 14, right? You add the 18 that would have come from the double. Right? 18 plus 14. Basically, the horse double moved. I just had to use 4 meters to get to the horse first.
Right.
Yes.
So you're basically moving up. You're
Yeah, I jump on the horse and spur it forward, and yeah, because I think I do have a rifle, but he was hidden, so I doubt I could actually like get a shot because he's like in a melee front in a hidden position. So I just kind of assumed like I'm not going to get a shot on him.
You could. You just there'd be a penalty because there's like cover and stuff in the way. You could shoot from your position if you wanted.
If I want to, I'll do it from horseback next round.
Okay. So Borja.
Okay. So I am going to use half my move to scramble back, the other half to get to my feet, and then I'm going to shoot him with my rifle.
Oh, you shot with your pistol earlier, right?
Right. I'm assuming I kept like one hand on my rifle when I drew and shot my pistol.
Yeah.
So.
I imagine you're dropping your pistol so you can fire your rifle.
Yeah. I left it behind when I scrambled back away.
Yeah.
This will be a -2. Or sorry, -1, so that's 15.
15 hits.
And then damage. 17 damage.
Yikes.
Can't get a stunt point to save my life.
Very good. They are still fighting fit. On their turn, they draw one of their one of the daggers off a bandolier on their chest, and they throw it at you.
A dodge, artfully. Might.
If I could get some stunt dice, that'd be cool. Freaking
14.
17 to hit you.
He's +7? Wow.
Yep. And
Yeah,
by the
it's-
way, Constitution stamina.
Okay. $13?
You made this one.
Yeah, very good.
So you take, well, 3 regular damage from the knife,
Okay, armor soaks that.
and then 4 penetrating damage from the poison, from the deadly poison. That ignores your armor.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gotcha.
Luciana Bianchi.
So I've heard 2 gunshots go off.
Seem to
I'm
be
not-
riding like hell toward their position.
Yeah, and I know, not like exact position, but we know where Diego would have been.
Yep.
So as he aims his rifle, he's gonna hand the glaive over to Arvidsson. Hold this, please.
Grab. She grabs at it. She was reaching for a pistol anyway.
Yep, I'm gonna aim, and I'm going to attempt to shoot. Yeah, I'm gonna attempt to shoot.
Okay, you have -2 to the roll because of where they are. 15 does it. Hits. Bang. Ow. You see a lot of the thick brush kind of shudder, and then you see flinch in the horizon. Borgia, you see as you're facing off, you're getting ready. All of a sudden, bang, whistle, rustle, shunk into the shoulder. Just like then you look surprised they got hit.
Yeah, I'm just gonna look over. If you have any spare rifles for me, I'd appreciate it. Saves the reload time, and that's my turn.
Isabel Duma.
Well, I will try a feat few can do. I will try firing the rifle from horseback because I'm allowed to use two-handed. I'm allowed to use both hands while riding because I have
Mounted combat. Is it?
I think so. I realized when I was upgrading my character the other day and did not fix it and have not fixed it yet, but I need to. I copied all the text of the talents, but not the names, because I did not realize that red bar that says talent or specialization name was a clickable and typable field. So it is one of those. I have the text of the ability, I just don't know what it's called.
Yeah, you'll want to fix that. Same penalty, just because they're behind. There's stuff in the way.
What was that penalty?
-2.
Okay. Is I'm only gonna try once. I'm not using the aim minor action because I'm using the movement minor action.
Right.
So that gets me. You said it was 100. I already moved 32. So I'm up to 50 meters. I've made it halfway at the time I take this shot.
Very good.
Does a 13 hit?
That would miss.
Oh wow. Guy's got a good defense.
Yep.
He's got a really high defense.
Apparently that first shot gave him warning, and you can already see him kind of ducking down a little bit, and then the next...
I'll use one of them things. One of them
Action points.
points.
Yeah.
I was hesitant because it sounded like Diego might need a spare.
Might yet for that Constitution roll.
You can add +2 to the roll, or you could re-roll.
I thought I had the +2 was before I roll.
I'm gonna check it.
No, we've been doing it after.
That's fine if we do it after.
Reroll, include damage rolls, best of 2 rolls, reroll stunt die, immediately heal, alter minor detail, take an additional action. Oh, take an additional action. Add +2 to defense. Oh, okay. All right, I'm mixing up my Thursday game with this game. That's not how action points work here. That's how they work. That's my bad.
So, this whole time we haven't been able to just add +2?
Yeah, I've been screwing that up. That's how action points work. That's how Fresh Out the Box does things. That's a house rule they do.
Ah, okay.
Whoops. So yeah.
Okay, so this would just be re-rolling a die roll.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got above average there. Yeah, why not? Oh my god.
Yeah, it misses, unfortunately. Diego Borgia.
Okay, firearm style talent to use a minor action to reload the rifle and then shoot him again.
Bang.
So that's a 14.
Hits.
Okay.
Well, we know the difficulty now.
N. Still can't get an action point to save my life. Perhaps literally. Or not an action point, a stunt point.
They seem to be struggling to stay on their feet. Why won't you die, Borgia? Throws another dagger at you.
I don't wanna!
For the love, any stunt points. There's a thing he can do. I need stunt points to do it, though.
Yeah, you and I are in the same boat, buddy. But
Dang
he hit
it.
with that. So I'm sure I have to
Yeah.
make a constitution roll.
Constitution roll, yeah. It's just part of the poison blades. You made
13.
it.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm irritated.
Dude, I haven't got a stunt point either, so I got stuff I could do too.
All right, so that is sorry, math. 7 for the knife,
Okay.
and then 3 penetrating for the poison.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Luciana Bianchi. Artverson, actually, since you asked her for a rifle, she doesn't have one on her, but she does yell at someone to throw their musket to you. So it's not a rifle, it's a musket.
Okay. I can work with that.
I mean, them Vinlanders don't have no Pennsylvania rifles.
Actually, I don't know if you can. I don't think a musket has 100-meter range.
It goes into long range. You have a -2 to fire at
Oh,
100
okay.
yards away.
What is the
Rifle's like 100 yards is a short
Yeah.
range, and it's long range to 200.
Oh, okay.
Next level in firearm style, I could double the range.
That's incredibly insane.
Yes.
But
I-
cinematic, right?
I
So-
feel like
Right.
to justify that, you're gonna have to have like a basic like Civil War era
optic.
scope. Yeah.
I'm just trying to decide
Yeah.
whether it's worth firing the musket or taking an action to reload and aim and spending a action point for an extra action to fire.
You need 2 action points to get an extra major.
But only one to gain a minor to reload.
Well, the only reason I could reload with a minor is because of the firearm skill,
Okay.
the
Yeah,
talent.
it's usually a major from us for black powder.
Yeah, because I've only got novice firearms. That's why I get +2 to aim.
I would just take the turn reloading because the rifle gives you only -2, but the musket will give you -4.
Yeah. Up to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to reload. So it's reload as the major.
You know what? Here's another thing that we don't use much, and I might as well use it now because it's. You can spend an action point to say that the captain happens to have a rifle, like she owns one herself, and she'll hand that to you.
Oh yeah, because you can slightly modify a scene.
Yep, and it's perfectly
Somebody do-
reasonable for Arvidsson, a Vinlander, to have a rifle.
Somebody do me a favor and keep an action point in their back pocket for when I fail the roll against the quote deadly poison.
Well, that was my action point. But yeah, I will aim, and I will attempt to blow this little fucker's head off.
Blam. That's a miss with the -2.
If I could, I could probably take him. How many points have we got left?
Well,
I'm
you only
out.
start with 2. You
'Cause I
had
could
3.
just yeah. If I just re-rolled that 1, I'm gonna guarantee a hit on him.
Can you just re-roll the 1 die?
You reroll the whole die roll. So you reroll the whole thing and hope for the best.
You can re-roll the stunt
Stunt
die.
die.
I
So you
think.
could reroll the 3, yeah. Well, though that's for the purpose of determining stunt points.
Okay.
That's what that's for.
Or just give myself like a +2 and hit them.
Well, that's not a thing, though.
Yeah,
yeah,
we've
it's
been
true.
doing that wrong. Not as bad as the Fallout screw up, but still.
It's true.
GMing is fun.
Yeah, that'll be a miss. Goes to Dumas.
I will ride faster, so I'm 86 meters, so I'm only 14 meters away from y'all now.
You're starting to ride up onto the hill and starting to stamp down through the brush.
And I'm going to am I the only person left who could give you an action point?
I don't know if Cormac has any.
Nope, busted all
Okay.
too.
Okay. Well, I was gonna use that to swap weapons, but I'll keep it. I'll hold on to it.
Diego Borgia.
The problem is, because I'm also watching the stream to interact with Author, I could give us one, but that seems a bit cheaty.
I wouldn't honor it.
Yep. Yeah, I'm on the stream too, but just because I talk with authors sometimes and it boosts Corby's numbers. So yeah, same thing again, minor to reload and fire with the rifle.
Very good.
17, 16.
Hits. 100% hits.
Once again, no stun points. 11s.
Are you still moving, friend? He's barely on his feet.
God damn it.
Die! Die, Borgia! Why
This guy
won't you
really has it in
die?
for you.
Throws another dagger.
Did he do sleep with his wife?
I don't know. I haven't slept with anybody.
16.
Yep, gets me.
2 stunt dice, but that's not what I needed for the thing I wanted to do. Oh well. I needed
Is he
to.
out of poison dives at this point, or do I have to roll Constitution?
Oh, you roll Constitution again, yeah.
11, I'm guessing, doesn't do it.
It does not.
All right, there you go. Have it.
Thank you. Let me look
You
at.
better get good use out of it. Just saying.
I will. There it is. There it is. Okay. So. The immediate heal wouldn't affect being poisoned, I take it.
No.
Okay.
You need someone to do a medicine roll to cure you of it during a fight, or once the encounter ends, it wears off.
Okay.
Because it's a
And
combat
just-
poison.
And
Or
just
that-
healing health would not
No,
affect
no.
the poison. Right.
Sadly, no.
Yeah, I guess all I can really do is re-roll and hope for the best. Unless you'll. Unless I can spend one to find. Aha! He dropped the vial of antidote.
No, I won't do that.
Okay. Okay, so I guess I'm just gonna have to pray to God and reroll. Pray to God. 16.
There you go.
Thank you, Isabel.
Isabel's your god now? Prayed to God.
She's kind of hot. She's kind of hot in those tight pants. It's tight Dragoon pants. I don't think. I'm not sure she
I'll
pitches
just
for
let
the
you have
same.
that.
I think not sure she pitches for the other team. So
Is this where I put the X card?
It's your X card. Do what you like. Brain. The thing I wanted to do.
damages.
Yeah, damage.
Oh, you don't have a ton of armor. I'll use those 2 into Mighty Blow. So at least the base damage will be better, but I don't think it's enough to drop you. A lot, frankly. 6 normal.
Okay.
And 7 penetrating.
The boy's just a little woozy on his feet.
Luciano Bianchi.
Well, unless someone's handing me a rifle, I'm just firing a fucking musket.
Okay.
No, you reloaded. You reloaded your rifle.
You reloaded your
remember?
rifle, yeah.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, so just -2.
Hey.
That's a miss. Blam.
Wow.
Isabel Dumas.
Minor to swap the rifle for am I allowed to say I have a two-handed weapon?
Mm-hmm.
Am I actually where are the rules on swapping weapons?
In the core book, generally. I know.
It's ready.
Yeah, I believe so. You draw a weapon or otherwise ready an item that isn't stowed. You may also put away something you already have in hand. You could, for instance, sheath a sword and pull out a bow. Thank you, author. Thank you for the help.
Can you tell me the page number?
4-9.
That's the one that has
Damn it.
all the actions on it, right?
Yeah.
Damn it, author! Don't be helping out the GM. I'm swaying on my feet here. Blood and poison leaking out of various wounds. You're helping the GM. It may be a long road, but I will have my revenge.
We'll just have a crossover on Thursday. Well, that doesn't really hurt him, though. It hurts the players.
Oh no! Next time he does a one-shot, I'll join his Oda and really mess up his day.
But shouldn't that be it's a long road, but you won't make it from there to here?
I might not.
Blood for the blood god. Wait, wrong game. You have to do a sanity roll, and you get some infliction. Skulls for the
I'll
skull
pu-
throne.
I'll pull a Hoda and Bors's brother will show up.
What you doing there, Duma?
Regretting I
trickery.
gave away my.
What are you
Yeah.
trying to do? I might be able to help.
So I want to lance him.
Okay.
Okay, but he's my full movement away. He's a little less than full movement away, but more than half. So charge won't get me there on its own.
Right.
But even doing a normal attack wouldn't work because I'd need full speed to get there, and then the melee attack to hit.
Mm-hmm.
But I have the rifle in hand, not the lance in hand.
You could just beat him with the rifle as a club.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how polo was invented.
Yeah, no, you have it right there, Dima. That is, you're just out of range to swap and charge. Because in this instance, if your lance was already in hand, you'd move a little bit and then charge the rest of the distance, the other half of the distance. But without a special talent, you can't hot swap for free.
Can't you just ride him down?
Run him over?
Just
Yeah,
have the
you're on a warhorse, right?
Is that a thing?
You would be using the horse's. The way I would do it is you would be using the horse's kick, essentially. So you'd move and then you'd make him do a charge action to kick into the guy. You could do that.
Sure.
So you start riding through the brush, right up on top of him. Roll kick for him, and he gets +1 to the roll because he charged. It hits him.
17.
Holy hell.
Yeah, I upgraded their strength. This is why I couldn't win that race.
Thud.
So he's trampled under.
Yeah, you trample him into the ground.
Diego will reload, tip his hat to Isabel and say, well, thank God for the cavalry, and then search my assailant carefully, not to nick myself on any of the knives.
As you move up to him, Constitution stamina.
Ugh. Yep. Nothing I can do.
I'll jump down and see the state of the assailant.
Mush mainly because someone rode a horse over him.
I mean, I'm sure he'll die in the next couple of hours or the next couple of days, but I assume he's not dead yet.
Borgia, you suffer 4 penetrating damage. And you feel you feel sick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, did not zero me out, but
Dumas, give me perception. You see this person has how many times they throw a dagger? 4?
seems like.
He has 2 more poison daggers, a short sword, and a stabbing dagger on him, and a pistol.
I was checking to see if he was still alive, not what he was armed with.
No, he is dead.
Oh.
I think I might need a doctor.
Wait, don't I get the option to say when someone goes down if I'm killing them?
Normally you do, but someone helped me out.
Ah. No chance to get any information.
As you notice that there's some sort of liquid that's drizzled into his throat. I will actually, you know what I'll do? You can throw a medicine roll at me. You might be able to save him from his
What is medicine?
intelligence. You might be able to make him throw up so he doesn't.
Not on my watch.
Wow.
Damn it.
Yeah, you. There's a moment where you're like, wait, I made sure the horse didn't stomp on his head. He shouldn't be dying yet. What the heck? He broke his legs, but he shouldn't die right away. Like, wait, oh no! And you see there's a bit of greenish bluish liquid on his tongue, and you immediately jam your fingers into his mouth and make him throw up violently. He's Not dead. He's just miserable, but he's unconscious. As you see, he actually starts breathing.
Do you have anything else on him besides the cutlery? Tattoos, papers, rings.
He does have a ring, but as you proceed, give me another Constitution stamina there, Borgia.
That's communication, not constitution.
Did I see this guy? When I looked at this guy, did he have any other vials on
13.
him?
13 means you only take 6 penetrating.
Okay. That puts me below 0.
Thud.
But do I get to use my stunt points?
Yes, you did succeed.
I don't know that they will do a damn thing for me.
And Dumas, give me an intelligence roll. See if you can identify. There are various vials on him. It's figuring out which of them are useful. Yep. You find one that's... I presume you're looking for an antidote.
Yes.
Yes, you're able to find an antidote with 16. Because he actually has a few, just in case he happens to poison himself.
That's fair enough.
Maybe can you spend your stunt points on I don't know, swiftness or something? Something to give you just a few extra seconds for me to get you this antidote?
Yeah, swiftness. Act with supreme swiftness and chuck down that antidote.
Yeah, that'll buy you just enough time before the damage like Borgia is already throwing up, like kind of unwitting on the ground, just trying desperately to throw up whatever poison you're actually forcing yourself to throw up to try to save yourself, but it's
right.
You're running out of time, you know it. So Dumas, as you're doing that, Dumas finds the antidote on the guy.
Okay.
Maybe I use mine for lethal blow. Pay attention.
I have been, thank you. Jeez, I know I'm not that good at running games. You don't have to make fun of me. Oh, you're asking.
Yeah, for information beyond what I might have been looking for, and maybe extra information.
This guy, this person, seems to be a, they're no raven. They are a, they seem to be dressed in a style of Tin Islander garb for professional sellswords. They don't have an assassin's guild per se. That's not really a thing. But there are people who sometimes the army hires people to solve problems, and sometimes they're not secret droit, they're not quite that organized or that official, but, sometimes a building needs to be burned down. Sometimes a union needs to be broken. That sort of thing. That's what this guy is. And you said extra information as well?
Yeah.
This person seems to be a Wenelani, gentleman. And the ring actually indicates they're from one of the merchant families. Which one in particular, you don't know at the moment, but on a glance, you know they're a Wenelani merchant family.
I look up at Borgia and say he's one of you.
Does Borgia recognize the signet on the ring?
You would. I was going to keep it secret until you were saved, but you're awake, so you would know this because you're from
Yes.
Wenelani.
I'm also taking a breather while I'm looking at this ring. Sitting on my ass, taking a breather.
No kidding. Take your HP for your 5-minute breather at least.
Right.
Aim, brain power, let's go. Wenelani, not Whistlelani. Whistlelani's something else. This is a Galini. a rival of the Borgia family. Although whereas the Borgias seem to have largely profited from Gallia fortunes, they've profited from the Tin Isles. So you kind of have this rivalry of trying to, and neither of you have really been able to pierce the other one's market. Like you have
Right.
some sales in Tin Isles, they have some sales in Gallia, but you're both the reason the other guy isn't in there. You're actively blocking each other.
Okay. Well, thanks for saving my butt there, Isabel.
And you thought I would be the one that needed saving today.
Well, you never know which way things are going to be going. At least we weren't underground.
I have not the faintest idea what you mean.
Well, be grateful for that.
Meanwhile, we cut over to the night before, where Cormac, I presume, did not shun the invitation to the Marshal's dinner.
No, quite not.
You're there with the other captains of the elite guard. So basically, anyone who's in the first squadron in the elite company, they're pulled from various parts of one of the divisions. You're the only one from the, because I believe the first division's where you guys are currently. I have to double check my own notes. I think you're separated from your division currently. Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, the second division. So the division that you're part of, that the first squadron and the third honored and all that, they're over in Aquahaven. So you're actually in the other half of the corps currently. So all of these are captains of companies that aren't part of your division. So you've never talked to these people. You've never had a reason to meet with these officers, really, because usually you meet people from your division because they're the people you're going to be working with, unless it's a big fancy dinner like this where sometimes it happens, or you're back in at headquarters. Then you're going to run into everybody. There's all kinds of people here, mostly Gallians. You note that there is not a single peninsularman in the room, or a men and women orchestrum. Almost.
Or any Tin Islanders.
You're the only Tin Islander in the room. There are Gallians. There are some loyalist Vinlanders. So Gallians, but they lived in Vinland and then they came back because the war was on, sort of thing. Think New France, that sort of idea. They're not, if you get what I mean. And there would be some Wenelani officers here as well. But primarily Gallian.
What kind of a dinner is it? Is it like we all sit down and eat, or is it like we mingle and then we have some like finger food and things like that?
It's a big sit down, like big feast table at the ambassador's house.
How many officers do I count here, roughly?
Including you, 10 plus 10 captains. So there's 9
No,
captains here with you.
No, it's not so bad. I'll participate, in the conversation moderately, trying not to, interrupt the marshal because he is obviously here, the star of the show. Make friends with some other people like, hey, how are you doing? Oh, you're from that company? Oh, well, that's very interesting. Tell me about yourself. Where do you hail from? Oh, me? Oh, don't worry about me. I'm from the Tin Isles.
Give me communication persuasion. Let's see if people actually etiquette. You're standing on etiquette here. I would take that. I need a certain type of roll. There they are.
Well, 20 do it.
And +1 because you do have some bonus for militarists. Actually, you have +2 now for militarists.
+2, yeah.
So 22. Yeah. First off, at first everyone's kind of awkward around you because they don't know you really. You do quickly learn that most of the people in here are militarists. There are some people who are more monarchical in nature, but in general, you make a decent impression among the officers, and They seem to not mind you being 10 Island all that much. They make
I'll
jokes
even,
at your
you know,
expense, but...
I'll even speak to them in Gallian because I know Gallian as a language.
Oh,
I've
if you're
spent
speaking
years.
Gallian, they'll speak Gallian with you easily.
Yeah, you know, I've spent years learning Gallian because, you know, I've been in Gallia, so I'll speak Gallian back to them, you know, like let's be polite here.
And every so often, actually give me every so often during the dinner, the marshal will begin regaling the table with yet another one of his achievements. Give me a willpower check to see if you can like
Stay conscious during them.
stay conscious or just stay like even be paying attention because your attention's gonna drift because he meanders. It's like, what was he talking about?
Oh, Saint Solara, preserve me. Does anyone have an action point?
No.
Curse you and your families. I'll take the L on this one, screw it.
You get demoted.
Like, I'll yawn, but I'll try and, like, maybe cover it up. Say it's like, oh, I'm sorry, the wine is hitting my head more roughly than I thought.
The table goes quiet for a bit and you get the sense off of your fellow captains, it's a oh no. They look at you, they look at him, they look at you. They don't seem offended. He looks incensed. Then he breaks out in a smile and says, "Oh, you must want more of a local wine. You know what? You're right, Captain McNeil. We should get a whole new bit of wine for everybody, and surely you'll cover the expense since we have to try this out on your account, right?" Oh,
Yes, sir.
splendid. Thankfully for you, the wine he asks for only costs 20 silver. Because apparently you're able to he mentions a wine, and thankfully for you, he doesn't know his wines that well. So he asks for some Sea Breeze cheap wine.
I'll spend another 10 silver and say,
actually,
no,
I
we
will roll that
want
back.
this one.
I'll roll that back. You just got helped by Author. You have an action point. You could re-roll that if you want.
Well, thank you, Arthur. Bless you, my boy.
I just caught that.
Because that was disgusting.
Well, you
that's even worse.
No, that's better.
That's better.
9
If
won't
he
do
wants to, if he wants to stay with his wine theory, I'd like to claw my way out of this one if you'll allow. But if not, I'll pay for the thing that he
Oh,
asked, and
no,
I'll even add a 10.
He is giving... the out is paying for the wine.
Yeah, but like I said, I'd like to try and claw my way out of it anyway. I'll say, you know, I know that he ordered some cheap one. I'll say, Marshall, if I may, here's an additional 10 silver. Go get us this vintage and not that vintage, because I know that vintage is very stinky, and the Marshal doesn't want stinky.
Well, I try. I know, Arthur, sometimes the dice hate us. On Thursday, I was rolling a hot. We rolled nothing but stunt dice, and today, almost no one's rolling stunt dice. I'm not rolling stunt dice, except when it doesn't matter, because fantasy age. Give me a communication check, +2. You might be able to document. You might be able to smooth the water a bit here.
Well, I have an idea on how to smooth the water. It's like, oh no, Marshall, you misunderstood me. It wasn't the fact that the wine was completely hitting my head, but I had heard that you once rode into battle with the Emperor himself, and I thought you might regale us of this story, but the story that you were just telling, I had heard from some other officers before.
You never heard
It's
it
quite
told by me. It must be the wine affecting you. Surely we'll get this non-stinky wine that you suggested.
But will you regale us of the tale where you rode into the battle personally with the Emperor?
Certainly. If you just pay my footman there, we'll get on with it.
I'll just hand over the 30 silver, like, in a small doggy bag, like, that's not a problem.
Yeah.
Like, here, take it, just get out of my face, goddammit.
And the night goes on. The captains someone during the night, they kind of go, they give you a pat on the shoulder, like, don't worry, that happens sometimes, just be careful. And always come with a full purse in case, you know. But is there anything you try to do during the dinner? Like anything you want to learn from the captains or or something you want to try to get from the marshal?
Well, the Marshal doesn't seem to be completely sold on the idea that men of Castrum or any other foreigners of that of note should be officers in the Gallian army, but
Well, when
I'd
Alani are
like
allowed,
to.
but they're half galleon anyway.
Right, right. But I'd like to be here and I'd like to point out that while perhaps Gallia has plenty of gallant Gallian officers, some of which are sitting at this very table this evening, Gallia also has no shortage of men and women of other nationalities who have proven themselves to be far more excellent than their stock perhaps exhibits, and perhaps in the far future, Gallia should consider having perhaps a foreign legion to aid its efforts during wars. But until then, other men and women of other nationalities should perhaps be rewarded for their heroism properly.
Give me communication check. This is definitely persuasion.
14. If he's a militarist, then a +2. Oh yeah, that won't do it.
I leave that to marshals of lesser corps to figure all that out, Captain McNeil, but if you ever make it past the... If you ever get commissioned up, maybe the Grand Army will see it your way, right? More wine.
Yes, of course. Yes, more wine. Oh, and have a crumpet as well. Don't drink on an empty stomach, Marshal. Oh, what's that? Oh, sausages? Oh, yes. Well, don't mind if I do, and I'll chew quietly. Being sufficiently cowed by this intimidating man.
Is there anything you want to do with the captain? You get the feeling that maybe you don't want to poke at the marshal anymore. Is there anything you want to learn from your fellow captains who are going to be going with you to Aquahaven?
Well, yes, actually. What is the situation on the fronts with the? No, well, I was always going to say the Germans, but the
The Armenians?
what are we? The Alemannians, yes. They've been very quiet. It seems like we've been doing all the stumping around. Have they been up to anything?
Give me communication investigation. You do get +2 because you're mostly speaking to militarists.
18.
18 will do it. Some people tell stories. It seems that the Armenians have largely been staying on the frontier. But when they moved into Aquahaven, the rumor is that they marched in the moment we marched in. And that and they kind of whisper this a little quieter away from the marshal. And they'll say, well, McNeil, it's, I think the real reason the marshal's going over there is it sounds like the Armenians are arguing they should get Aquahaven and not us.
Should Aquahavens be anyone really if we are trying to restore imperial order? If, the crown of Vitlu should remain unspoiled?
Well, I mean, that is how the Emperor sees it, but the Almanians think they should take their... I think this is the rumor, obviously, but rumor is that they want to take something for helping us. So they may be taking some of the border forts in their towns as payment.
Border forts I don't see as a problem. They're something that we should get rid of entirely, if you ask me, and we should establish a permanent alliance between our three great nations once this blasted war is over. But, as for the moment, do you think that antagonizing the locals is prudent, considering our mission here?
Well, that's just it, right? I mean, if the Armenians aren't making a fuss, then great. There's nothing to worry about. We get to see your division, say our hellos, get you back in good order and all that. But if they are causing a stink, well...
Do you know who specifically is causing the stink? I've been a diplomat in Gallia for quite a long time. Perhaps a letter or two of soothing words and false promises might help soothe their minds a bit, at least, for the time being.
Let me think. No, the only thing, I mean... The only thing I can think of is it's someone in the first corps. Like it's not the... I don't think it's a it's a matter of court politics. I think it's a matter of core politics, if you follow. So whether it's their marshal or some enterprising major, I don't know, to be honest with you, McNeil.
Well, the Kaiser and his people were always the strangest of the bunch, I suppose. Can't fault them for being born Alamanian, can you? Can you?
Wait, you can certainly try.
Yes, of course.
What are we all laughing about? Oh, we're laughing about... And they very neatly... You notice the people around you very neatly pull him away from the conversation you were having. Like, they keep him from really learning what you guys were talking about. They talk about other stuff.
Yes, of course. Well, I found out what I wanted to find out. What a strange bunch of folk, these Alamanians, and the Marshal along with them, I think to myself. Now, unless the Marshal has mind-reading abilities.
Fortunately, you guys made this not a magic game, so no, he doesn't.
No, well, nerds for you, I suppose. I'll eat my sausages quietly and, just make good, pleasant conversation with the others and try and stay as focused as I can without falling asleep at the Marshal stories. God knows, I've probably heard of everything he's done. There's probably more aggrandizing everything than it actually was.
And some of it's like, that sounds interesting, I guess, but like, do you need to spend an hour telling a 30-minute story?
Or it's like, yes, I know that you and the Emperor rode into that village, but by God, your horses weren't white as snow, and you weren't showered with roses as soon as you entered. In fact, I think they wanted to hang you from the parapets.
And the last thing I'll ask you before we pull away from you is a perception empathy. Let's see if there's something you can figure out about Duval.
11 with 4 stun points.
11 isn't enough, unfortunately. I will say to you that you get the feeling that there's more to Duval than all his blustering seems to suggest.
Yes, these old farts always hold some sort of secrets. It's just a question of what. Unfortunately, my eyes aren't quite what they used to be, and my social wits have long since abandoned me.
Able to escape. You get no positive reputation, but no negative, because whatever
I made
positive
friends with one, but enemies with another.
Yeah. It's like, we want to be your buddy, but we don't want to be seen to be your buddy because the Marshal seems to have a thing against you for we don't really know why. Well, you're Tin Islander. I will say that you get to feel the other captains don't seem to mind you're a Tin Islander. Like they care that you're an officer and you're a gentleman. And it's like, well,
all the others are welcome at my estate. Well, the Marshal will talk about that once the war's over.
So you zip back to...
Yes, and I'll enjoy a quiet night. I'll maybe write in my diary and do other things, personal stuff,
Very good.
Oh, by the way, one thing I did want to ask you. The Major said that there was some letters for me. From the Tin Isles, from Gerard.
Yes.
Anything of particular note of interest? Or would you like to leave that for another time?
No, I can call that out now. Give me an intelligence roll as you're told about the affairs of court. But it feels like your man is trying to encode the information. So if someone did grab it, they wouldn't know it. The problem is you guys didn't have a chance to get something a code set up. So you're kind of having to pick through it. I will give you +1 on this roll because it is your guy.
16 with 5 stun points.
Yes, that will do it. You hear rumor. Oh, rather, you hear rumor. He says in his letters that it sounds like the various the Tin Islander House of Lords and Commons and the High King himself are paying attention to the Vitlu invasion, but they are mobilizing to do something, but it doesn't look like they're heading into Vitlu. But they look like they're mobilizing for a war with somebody. And he doesn't think it's with Gallia directly, It doesn't seem big enough for that. But the Navy, they're like recruiting people. The regiments are getting bigger. He's heard rumors that they're sending letters off to Vinland. He's heard that there's letters going into Wenalani, and there's letters going even as far afield as Mr. Quillan. But he's not sure where they're going if it's not Gallia or Vitlu.
The High King is gathering his ally. The High King is gathering his allies, it would seem. Perhaps on a march to Alamania. It wouldn't be out of the question.
And it is... And at present, Strathcliffe, I believe you don't have a negative rep with anybody back home. I think you're in good standing with the Lords and the Commons.
Yeah, I have average support from both of them.
Yeah, so if you... it seems that he's been trying to get straight answers out of your proxy there, your family member, but he thinks that the only way you'll know the truth of it is if you pushed for audience with the High King to learn more, because he can't. Your man doesn't have the authority to demand an audience. Even as your man, he's not a member of the House of Lords.
He's a butler, of course.
He's a butler. He might ask butlers of butlers, but he gets the feeling that if he pushes too hard, he might antagonize the crown, and he's not sure you want him to do that.
Well, the only way I'll get a meeting with the High King is when I present my praxis to rule, so I don't think that's an option. Okay. Well, I'd like to send a letter back to him if possible. And I'd like to spend those stump points while I'm at it. I'd like to try to get him to stir the people into a campaign of peace rather than a campaign of war. Go around every inn and tavern and spread the word that there is someone out there who doesn't want to see your sons and daughters die in a pointless war for which our great wealth and our great minds and brilliant minds of the future will be expended, but instead is advocating a path of peace. And that someone just so happens to be in exile because of his standings. And that someone is, of course, me. Of course I know him. He's me. And I'd like to spend the 5 stump points on sabotage. So that if anybody tries to undermine me, or in this case my proxy, that he shall have to beat my target number.
Unfortunately, that would be applying to the role you just did. So that'd be preventing someone from learning. You'd have to do a communication check and get that amount of stump points to do sabotage with. Because the role you just did was related to you decoding the message.
I see. Okay. In that case, bollocks. What the hell do we spend it on?
You could add to it. You could spend to at least 3 of it to impress. So you're getting ready for the next communication role you want to do.
Okay, yeah, 3 on impress, I suppose. We'll play it off as I'm presenting this information to Leclerc later on. So maybe.
And you could spend of the other 3, you could try to get extra information or pay attention, something like that.
Oh, it's actually other 2. I think I only have 5 stump points.
Oh, it's true. Yeah, only 2.
If I spend 3 on impress, I can do maybe 2 on.
Alternatively, you could do 2 impress and then 3 on information.
2 on impress, 3 on extra information. That sounds okay. Or actually, what about 3 on impress and 2 on insight? So my next communication role will be even better?
Yeah, I'll take that, sure.
Okay, so, we'll pass off the impress as, I'm reporting everything to Leclerc and the powers that be of potential plans, and I'm forming my own theories. And the insight is, okay, I know what I have to write to Gerard to get the people stirring. And we'll play it off from there.
Give me a communication roll. Communication, persuasion. I will say.
Oh boy, yes, baby, yes.
What's your standing with monarchists?
Oh, dearie me. I have to count it. Hang on. I think it's in the negative area, but we'll see. Let's see. It's a bourgeois or monarchist, actually?
Monarchist.
Okay, so -1, +1, so we're at a 0. Being neutral pays off sometimes.
Eh.
-1. Mm, -1, -2, so okay. -3, -4. Oh boy. Okay, yeah, -4.
-4, and you gave yourself +3 from your
Plus,
previous roll?
+4,
+4.
actually, from
So,
the insight and from the impress.
right. So, the number I was looking for was 21. That's why I wanted to check. If you had
Okay.
any, if you were pulled, if you're pulled off of 21, something really bad was gonna happen. But yeah,
Woo!
no.
And 6 stun points, 5 on sabotage.
There you
So if
go.
anybody tries to screw me over, they're gonna be in for a rough time because my man Gerard, he's a man. He'll handle this.
Ooh.
Now that has a penalty if I recall correctly. Yeah, moderate hazards or anything embarrassing, that depends to you
Yeah,
on you.
yeah, I have an idea for that. You now have above average standing in the House of Lords.
Hell yeah.
As your maneuvers will be well suited, and there's that's something you'll learn later. But in essence, what happens as we flash forward a little bit in time, your message gets out. Lots of campaigning happens. There is a huge hawkish part of the house that's trying to push for the war, but there's this new growing movement. No one's naming Strathcliffe per se. No one's highlighting you in particular, but your ideas are being puppeted through various members of the House of Lords who seem to read between the lines a bit and catch on, and they're achieving the goals that you were going for. And any attempts to figure out who the ringleader of this opposition is made very unclear, which unfortunately embarrasses the members of the hawkish movement. Because they're throwing around accusations, and just all they're doing is angering people, allies and enemies alike. So you may not stop the war, but you're certainly making sure Strathcliffe is benefiting at the end of it, and hopefully, maybe.
And thusly, my reign shall soon begin, but next up are the people. But in a few weeks' time.
We swap over to the Storm Coast, where Dumas and Borcha are standing over a dead body, and Bianchi is handed over the gold and some letters from that were seized from and charts that were seized from the Tin Islander ship. So,
I look at Diego and I say, any reason to bring him back to Seabreeze?
Not that I can think of. Diego will take the ring, though.
Well, then it is fitting. He'll die a nameless death and be eaten by wolves.
What's in the letters?
Oh,
Oh, I haven't looked at him yet. I
Let's-
was flirting with the captain.
Yeah, any luck?
communication roll if you really want to try that.
I mean, I'll flirt. Doesn't mean I'm going to get anywhere.
Communication seduction.
You know, you at least have you get the feeling Arvidson likes you a little bit more than Dumas for some reason.
Fall into sway?
She really likes you, and you know, if you and her in the same port, you know, she might have a word or two with you, or 5.
is this supposed to be a competition?
Not supposed to
Oh,
be, but you could see it that way if you want.
Yeah, I wasn't competing.
Are these letters written in Tin Islander?
They would be, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some Tin Islander letters that she said they captured. I'll hand them over to McNeil when we get there.
Sounds good. If we're going to
Uh,
make it back by noon tomorrow, we need to be on our way.
I made a promise to the captain that I have to go uphold real quick. Bianchi, why don't you help Diego get situated?
Certainly.
I'm fine, or will be.
Isabel didn't ask.
I've had a breather.
What's Tuma up to?
I made a promise. I gotta go help her. I gotta go negotiate between her and the galleon sailors so that the galleon sailors leave Arvidson's crew alone and let them get back to sea.
Just gonna lean over to Diego.
And
This flirting business is very easy.
and I've got another competition against Bianchi to win.
I will say to you, Dima, as you try to convince these sailors, you learn that these are friends of freedom and equality.
They're revolutionaries?
Yep.
Then I have an overall -1. So yeah, I'll ask them what the problem is and why they're accosting a friend of mine.
Give me a communication check. See if you can pry.
Communication persuasion, or is it something else?
I'd say persuasion, because you're trying to get them to leave off.
14.
You learn after a few conversations that largely these people just want to get to sea as soon as possible, and they aren't terribly enthused about helping some disloyal Vinlanders build their ship. So, although the Emperor hasn't branded every last revolutionary, well, actually, no, it's the other way around. Because the revolutionaries, I got it backwards. So it'd be more that there were that these Vinlanders are actually not part of that they're part of the loyalist part of Vinland, rather than the revolutionary Vinland, the United Colonies of Vinland. I mean, if they're United Colonists, then great. They'll work together and stuff. But if they're loyalists, look, they don't mind the Emperor. They like the Emperor just fine. But they're in no hurry to help people who aren't part of the cause for freedom, for equality and freedom.
So I'm confused. The galleon sailors are Republicans, and they're only really willing to go out of their way for the Vinlanders if the Vinlanders are also Republicans?
Yeah.
Okay. But Ardvidson is bourgeois.
Yeah, they don't know that.
All right. Do they actually need to like interact at all, or is it just literally like leave each other alone and things get settled?
If they leave each other alone, they should be able to figure it out, you think?
All right. Then
they'd be faster if they work together, but if they just get out of each other's way, they will. There's plenty of ship to go around. They're not that damaged.
although Isabel now is kind of moderated towards the militarists. I mean, still wanting to restore a republic, but not with pitchforks and everybody losing their head. I want to dig into some of that old republicanism and kind of espouse the republican virtues of this Vinlander crew. Because I'm expecting that if I tell them that they're Republican and then they don't actually talk to each other, then they'll just be like, "Oh, hey, see those guys down the beach? They're Republicans too."
Give me a communication deception.
All right. Is that a -1? Because
Because you're not one of them.
a 12.
Why do you care so much? Or are they actually militarists? Looking out for your own, are you?
Like, oh, are you that anti-Gallian to think that I would side with foreigners over you, my own people? Basically, I'm gonna throw that back at him.
I'll give me one last communication roll before they start getting ornery about it. Yeah, it you get the feeling after arguing with some people that it's starting to get into hostile territory where it looks like some people are going to start grabbing whatever's blunt and shooing you away. And the officers are doing their best to keep order, but they're not terribly keen. They're starting to get more and more keen to look the other way rather than keep the sailors from battering a officer of the Grand Army. You're calling us like things along the lines of you're calling us not real galleons. What are you, some sort of pirate lover or something? You're just looking out for your own. Wait, maybe they're actually monarchists over there, and you're actually a monarchist. There's lots of just nonsense that's being thrown around. You get the feeling these people aren't terribly friendly to you yet, but they're just on the cusp of going after you. Master check. Thank you, author.
I'll kind of ride past him and towards the officers and shout towards the officers. I expect this rabble to stay away from the other ship on the beach, or I will be back here and enforce the order of the Grand Armée.
Don't worry. We'll look after the order of the Navy of His Imperial Majesty. You see to yours, we'll see to ours.
I look back at them and say, "You misunderstand. I am going to see to yours if you don't."
Strength intimidate. On the plus side, the reputation doesn't matter anymore.
Can I assist being the big burly castrum man?
Now you're off with Borgia.
Yeah, that's worth a go.
Ooh. That's unfortunate for them. Oh, very well then. Very well then. No need to show the boot of the of your fusiliers. Will come to.
Can I use those on sway, so they move an even further point towards, they move more towards keeping to themselves, or I guess being intimidated by me.
Yeah, you're extra intimidating to them. Yeah.
All right, then task successfully failed, or failed successfully.
Yeah.
I'll ride back to Adverson and say,
Militarist bully plus to militarist because makes them look good. Yeah, tell those revolutionaries what for. Radicals won't like you.
I mean, this might be a breaking point with Isabel and revolutionary support, because these obviously the rebel needs leadership, right? And they can't be relied on to provide their own leadership. So
Bunch of rebels without a cause.
They do have a cause. Get the crown off. This will give you bonus to militarists, bonus to the bourgeois, penalty to the revolutionaries, and penalty to the common folk. Yeah, you're able to bully them into not interfering with Arvidson.
which really just pushes me in the direction I was already headed, because my revolutionary and my common is pretty low, but now my militarist is +6 and my middle class, my bourgeois is +7. So if it wasn't for being an actual order member, the bourgeois like me more than the militarists do.
You should join the middle class. It pays more.
I seriously thought about it.
You still can.
But-
You can always switch.
Oh no. I do not think switching from the militarists is great for one's career. in the army.
Don't feel bad right now. The revolutionaries like me way more than the militarists.
But I would presume that the three of you, now successful, will return back to Seabreeze Cove.
Yes,
Yes.
having successfully survived.
You'll be back to full by the time we start again, Borja, just so
Right.
you know. But oops.
Can I have all my gold?
Yeah, I've got your gold, so I'll give it you back.
Oh, I give you 2 gold.
Yeah, I already told that out.
Hey, add sergeant.
Very good. So, some intelligence has been gathered, some friends have been made, some enemies have been made, and a future march to Aqua Haven awaits the elite company de la Selle. And we shall see what that journey reveals and what is happening in Aqua Haven. For now, all of you watching, thank you very much for watching. Those of you playing, thank you very much for playing. We'll see you all next time. Bye. Well, no one died. So there's that.
Yeah.
I mean, apart from Isabel's pride as a cavalier.
No.